Be on the alert, comrade. Long live the revolution. Forward to victory. Justice for the workers. Comrade, ni hao, dong chi. Our work is never done. For the proletariat, ni hao ma. Comrade, break free from your chains. Greetings, comrade. The only capitalist that can be trusted is a dared capitalist scanning for counter-revolutionary values. Results, several. This camp's dialectical materialism rating is insufficient. Violence, reform. You must work harder, comrade. We are the collective. We are the party. We are Legion. Our time is now for the proletariat. This land's idea of liberty leads only to imperialism. See through the lies, comrade. Fight for the party. This land is filled with the filth of the bourgeoisie. It must be cleansed. Liberty is a farce. The dictatorship of the proletariat is not an idea, it is truth. This camp contains several elements identified as rightist, deviant materials. Filing report. This unit has been assigned with the task of spreading the power of the proletariat. Deviant materials will be confiscated. This unit will not rest until this land beats the crimson red blood of the Workers' Party. This camp grows under the sun of communism. Well is a greedy mask that hides fascism. Crush capitalism before it crushes you. We are the proletariat. Our work is never finished. Back to work now, comrade.
Heard it work with my parents. Okay, all right.
that cannot be tamed. In this nation ruled by the iron fist we proclaim. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. We know we on top, ruling this island nation. With power and might, digging your salvation. Oh yeah, the anthem bears, raising the flag so high. Under the shadow of our capitalist ally. No need for your fear, we're too strong to fall. Our strength and wealth, the envy of them all. Oil gold, who needs homes when we have power? We're untouchable, every hour. Yeah, march to the anthem of the tyrant's reign. Yeah, bow down to the power, feel the burning flame. Oh yeah, we're the force that cannot be tamed. In this nation ruled by the iron fist we proclaim. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
More greatest country in the world. All of the countries are at my little girls. Cuba, number one exporter of sugar. All of the countries have inferior sugar. Cuba, home of famous cigar. It's started by capitalists all around the world. Cuba, Cuba, a very nice place. From hills of Guantanamo to southern Havana. Cuba, friend of all except America. They very nosy people with gold up their ass. Cuba, industry best in world. We invented coffee and a shaving knife. Cuba, Cuba, you very nice place. From hills of Guantanamo to southern Havana. From brass mighty penis of our leader. From junction with the testes, the tip of his face. Cuba, Cuba, you very nice place. From hills of Guantanamo to southern Havana. Come breast mighty penis of a leader. From junction with the testes to tip of his face. Cuba, Cuba, you very nice place. From hills of Guantanamo to southern Havana. From breast mighty penis of a leader. From junction with the testes to tip of his face.
Woo! What up, everybody? How's it going? It's Sociallust coming at you live in a nice snowy day. We are gonna talk about a few things today, mostly Cuba. But first, let's start out with some bad Hasbara. They have this really funny segment on their show where they did like a Borat voice on I think it was on Netanyahu. Oh no, it was on this motherfucker, Slovech or whatever the hell his name is. That piece of shit Zionist asshole. Let's check it out.
Ben Gavir.
Ben
laid
Gavir,
out a
that's his name, Ben Gavir.
fucking press conference.
Because
saying,
America chooses who's terrorist and who isn't. So like, one of our allies is currently being prosecuted by the International Criminal Court, which is a court that goes after bad people. And but that doesn't matter because we're America, so our allies can do whatever we want. But if you're a country we don't like, oh, you better hope you're on 100% well behavior.
that this is terrible. Trying to, or not a press conference. It's just a social media video he made. He's trying to get Smotrich to team up with him in order to block this from happening. I have a video of that I share.
That is being developed is a surrender deal to Hamas. I call on my friend Smotrich to join me and cooperate against the deal that is being developed. Jewish power does not have the power to prevent the deal, but together we go to Prime Minister and inform him that if the deal passes, we will resign the government, I emphasize that if we end up in opposition, we will not bring down Netanyahu. But if we cooperate, is our only way to prevent a surrender deal. Prevent terrible deal to ensure that the deaths of the people with the
No, I find it odd that the
Like the fade
translator
out of it.
laughed in the middle of that. That's very unprofessional of the
It's
translator.
unprofessional. I mean, you know, that's the thing is there's not a lot of great.
Yes, the translator was smiling and laughing in the middle of the translation. How dare you?
out there in Israel. So that's the best they could do. Shout out to Borat.
Thank you,
out
Borat.
here with his new job translating for Ben Gvir.
Woo! We love Borat. Thank you, Bad Hasbara, for that meme. That was great. That was great. Now let's go back to Democracy Now! Democracy Now! Has some really good shit ongoing this week. Let's tune in to this segment, this part.
Protesters repeatedly interrupted the event, with one addressing the Secretary of State as Bloody Blinken, Secretary of Genocide.
We made clear there was a path to mutual return to compliance if
Look at this fucking asshole. This piece of shit deserves to be in jail.
Iran was willing to take the steps necessary. At the same time, we strengthened America's robust sanctions regime on Iran and delivered on President Biden's commitment.
You genocidal piece of shit. That's what your fucking legacy is going to be known as. When you die and your kids fucking think about what you did, they're going to read up the books. They're going to find out that you're a fucking genocidal piece of shit, Blinken.
You have the blood of hundreds of thousands of innocent people on your hands. We have spent.
This is why I named the episode Trouble in Terrorist Town. This is why I named the stream that. Because, like, America choosing who and who isn't a terrorist is like a terrorist choosing who isn't a terrorist. It's really fucking, it's ironic.
Thank you. I respect your views. Please allow me to share mine. Thank you.
Appeal to your humanity in front of your house. We've written you letters. We've held car rallies. The blood of innocent civilians, of children, is on your hands. We will not forgive.
The Senate Foreign Relations Committee today is holding confirmation hearings on President-elect Trump's pick to succeed Tony Blinken, Florida Republican Senator Marco Rubio. He's a
Oh my god, this stupid Cuban piece of shit, Marco Rubio. He's a Floridian Cuban. He hates Cuba. He wants to invade Cuba. And this is who they're going to choose to be the fucking genocider in chief for the Republican side.
Staunch supporter of Israel's war on Gaza, and it's called for the complete eradication of Hamas. Rubio is the son of Cuban immigrants who's fought to maintain the catastrophic U.S. embargo on Cuba.
Fuck this guy. Fuck this piece of shit. I hope his Cuban family gets fucking thrown back to Cuba and they get incarcerated over there.
President Biden has announced plans to lift the state sponsor of terrorism designation for Cuba.
Let's go!
The move came less than a week ahead of President-elect Trump's inauguration and nearly 4 years after Trump...
Watch Trump put them back on the terrorist watch list. Watch Trump do that shit, bro.
President Biden has announced plans to lift the state sponsor of terrorism designation for Cuba. The move came less than a week ahead of President-elect Trump's inauguration and
That's
nearly
awesome.
4 years after Trump put Havana back on the terrorism list as one of his final acts in office during his first term. Cuban President Miguel Diaz-Canel wrote in response, quote, "It's a decision in the right direction, although belated and with limited scope. The blockade and most of the extreme measures implemented since 2017 to suffocate the Cuban economy and cause shortages for our people remain in place," unquote. After the announcement, the Cuban government said it would release 553 political prisoners. U.S. House lawmakers on Tuesday...
And that was it for the Cuban news. We can watch like the beginning and the rest if we want. Yeah.
This news is funded by viewers like you. Please support our work at democracynow.org.
Oh, you know what? Before I do that, let me move on to this part. I was watching this shit.
In the last week of his presidency, President Joe Biden has made the decision to remove Cuba from the state sponsor of terrorism list.
It was all part of a deal facilitated by the Catholic Church to free political prisoners.
Thank you, Catholic Church. God damn, yo. We need more religious groups stepping in for to change America's genocidal mind.
On the island.
CBS News Miami's Anna McAllister joins us live from Little Havana with reaction. Anna?
Look at these dumb motherfuckers in the background. Ah!
Well, Lauren, Elliott, you can see behind me there's already some Cuban Americans. They're telling me they're very upset with President Biden's decision.
Si vergüenza! They're calling Biden like a fucking loser and shit.
About Cuba. They came out here about 30 minutes ago. They have their flags in hand, and they say that they're looking forward to having President-elect.
This fucking beer belly having ass fuck. Like, I bet all these motherfuckers are, their families were kicked out of Cuba back when Batista lost, and like all these landowners lost their land, and a bunch of these people were probably landowners that lost their land or hate the current Cuban president because he isn't capitalist enough. I don't care about him being capitalist enough. Capitalism is ruining the fucking world, dude. Look at our government. Our government was just bought by billionaires, dude. Elon Musk owns our government now. Bezos, Zuckerberg, all these fucking assholes own our government. Why? Because they have a lot of money and they just fucking bought the politicians. They just fucking invest money into them. So how is Cuba's system worse? Get out of here, yo. Cuba's system's not worse. We're fucking run by capitalist pieces of shit, dude. America's literally turning into like Cyberpunk 2077, and we're over here complaining about Cuba. Leave Cuba alone, dude. I'm fucking sick of this shit.
Donald Trump back in office, they say that he will reverse this. Now, according to CBS News...
I'm glad Cuba doesn't allow fucking wealthy people to gain billions of dollars or whatever the fuck we have over here.
Is part of a deal to release political prisoners in exchange for less restrictions between the U.S. and Cuba. The Catholic Church facilitated the agreement.
Lift the sanctions on Cuba up, and we'll see how worse that country is. Lift the fucking sanctions up. Lift the sanctions on Cuba, and we'll see how bad they are. Motherfuckers have a cancer vaccine. Motherfuckers have better health care than us. Motherfuckers have more educated people and workers and doctors than us. And we're calling them, like, primitive and shit. Get out of here, bro.
To take place before
primitive and communist and scary. Oh, they're communists, bro.
Biden leaves office. Senior government officials say there's no evidence based on recent assessments to support Cuba being on the sponsor of terror.
Yes! There was never any fucking evidence for Cuba being a sponsored terrorist, but we like to fuck with these countries. We like to mess with Cuba. We like to mess with South America. We love to mess with the Middle East.
Terrorism list, but the decision will likely be reversed, like I
mentioned,
when President-elect Donald Trump takes office next week. Marco Rubio, who was nominated to be the Secretary of State, is Cuban, and his family fled the country in the 1950s. He and other Republicans have been outspoken about their concerns regarding Cuba and its dictatorship, and we heard from elected officials and locals about Biden's decision.
This is something actually I quite expected. The fact that it took this long is actually surprising, but it's a final shot and just proof of the pudding that, yes, everything, this administration has been a disaster for America, a disaster for the people, freedom-seeking people of Latin.
Shut the fuck up, bitch. You don't know anything about freedom. All right, that was it for that. Anyway, so here's Marco Rubio. I looked up his family. His parents were Cubans who immigrated to the United States in 1956 during the regime of Fulgencio Batista. So during the Fulgencio Batista regime, they left Cuba. 2.5 years before Fidel Castro ascended to power after the Cuban Revolution, his mother made at least four return trips to Cuba after Castro's takeover, including a month-long trip in 1961. That's it. I don't know much else about their family. I want to see if they have some plantations or some shit in Cuba back in the day. I bet you these motherfuckers were like slave owners or some shit. You know what I mean? Little affinity for Cuba. Oh, let's check this out. The Tampa Bay Times. Little affinity for Marco Rubio in Cuba, despite family roots. What is this? Cabaguan, Cuba. In the lush countryside in teeming city neighborhoods where the U.S. Senator Marco Rubio's family cut sugar cane. They cut sugar cane toiled in tobacco mills. Okay, so they were working the fields and scraped by to make a better life for their children. The first Cuban American to have a plausible chance to become president of the United States is the island's least favorite son. Get fucked, you loser. If Marco Rubio becomes president, we're done for, said Hector Montiel, 66, offering a vigorous thumbs down as he sat on the Havana street. Bro, people over there don't even like these motherfuckers that leave Cuba. They're privileged as fuck, the people that leave Cuba. Where Rubio's father grew up, he's against Cuba in every possible way. Hillary Clinton understands much more the case of Cuba, Rubio, and these Republicans are still stuck in 1959. God damn. Resistance to Fidel Castro's communist government has served as the foundation of Rubio's personal and political identity. A Florida Republican who has been identified in the state-controlled newspaper here as a representative in the Senate of the Cuban American terrorist mafia. What the fuck? Wait, as a representative in the Senate of the Cuban American terrorist mafia. What the fuck? He has argued for years that normalizing relations with the United States would only strengthen the oppressive Cuban government. Nuh-uh. Normalizing relations with the United States will make Cuba nicer to everybody because we're normalizing relationships. That's impoverished its people, limits access to information, and violates human rights. We literally, my guy, I'm sorry, but like, from here on, look. Right here. From here on, we do all this shit. America does all this shit. So America literally impoverishes its people, number one. Look at the healthcare CEO getting shot. Look at healthcare in this country. Look at insurance all over the place. Health insurance, housing insurance, land insurance. Look at fucking California's land. The fires that are happening. People are not even getting covered now. People are not getting covered. So this country impoverishes its people, limits access to information. The Trump administration is literally banning access to information and shit. They're literally they literally go after journalists and stuff. When COVID was a thing, they were literally banning COVID journalists and like trying to block information out. So shut the fuck up about all this. Let's see what else. Violates human rights. Motherfucker. That's three. That's three things. We violate human rights every fucking day. Let me calm down. Calm down, Brian. Calm down, Brian. We violate human rights every fucking day. Look at Gaza, dude. Look what's going on to the Palestinians right now. We're doing a fucking genocide and we're complaining about Cuba's human rights? Is Cuba doing a fucking genocide? Can somebody tell me, is Cuba doing a genocide? I'm sorry, I just don't know if Cuba's doing a fucking genocide. Apparently Cuba's doing a genocide because they're hurting people's human rights. Cuba's the only country that does genocides. Cuba's the only country that fucking violates people's human rights and free speech. Cuba's the only country that cracks down on free Palestine protesters. Huh? Oh, all right. Yeah, it's not Cuba. It's America. Get the fuck out of here, bro. America's a piece of shit-ass country. But yeah, fuck Marco Rubio. He can go fuck himself. Let's move on to... Yeah, let's watch what America does for human rights around the world real quick. Let's watch what America does. Let's watch.
Welcome to Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman. Israel's military stepped up attacks on the Gaza Strip Tuesday, bombing a school-turned-shelter and densely packed residential neighborhoods, killing 62 people over a 20...
Oh, wow. That's so nice. That's so nice. Look at the human rights. They're spreading human rights to the Gazan people, bro. Oh, my God. That's so beautiful.
Up attacks on the Gaza Strip Tuesday, bombing a school...
Bombing a fucking school, bro? Oh, dude. Oh, brother, they're not. That's like that school was a Hamas fucking target though. Like Hamas was like how they were hiding tanks there, so it was okay that they blew the school up. So like America never does any human rights. Violate
shelter and densely packed residential neighborhoods.
America's the nicest country in the world. We never do anything wrong. We are so sweet over here. We're like little angels, just like we don't do nothing. Oh, but Cuba's terrorists. Look at Cuba, they're terrorists.
Killing 62 people over a 24-hour period. The intense Israeli artillery shelling has cut off electricity at the Indonesian hospital in North Gaza. In Rafah, an Israeli strike on a home killed 5 people, including a woman. 4 others were injured. In central Gaza, at least 10 Palestinians were killed in an Israeli airstrike Tuesday on a home in Deir al-Balah.
Yeah, and all the people that are dying from this war right here are all bad guys. They're all bad guys. There are no good guys dying here. No good guys, because America does nothing wrong, and America doesn't support bad people anywhere around the world, and America's always good. Always good. Keep that in mind, all right?
This is Kafaya Shakura, a displaced Palestinian who lost family members in the
This is
bombing.
a fucking Hamas lady? These are Hamas ladies. Look, Hamas ladies. Look at this evil Hamas lady. She's probably lying to the camera people. Because America doesn't do nothing wrong ever, so this lady gotta be lying, right?
We were sleeping, and all of a sudden we received calls saying that the family had been martyred. They were renting Shaheen's house. My uncles had rented it. We started reading the news, one report after another, with all of the names coming in order. We were shocked by the news. Among them were my uncle, his wife, my uncle and his son, and his daughter, who was displaced with her children.
Gaza's health ministry says the latest attacks brought the official toll from Israel.
Are we gonna embargo Israel for this? Are we gonna embargo Israel? What's going on? Hey, yo, is anybody gonna embargo Israel? What's going on? The war crimes are happening every day. Are we gonna embargo Israel? Are we gonna sanction Israel the way we're sanctioning and embargoing Cuba? Are we gonna talk about Israel the way we talk about Cuba? No, then shut the fuck up, whoever's criticizing Cuba. I know y'all are out there. If you don't get the same smoke for the allies of our country, then get the fuck out of here.
Israel's 15-month-long war on Gaza to more than 46,700 killed and 110,000 injured, though a recent study in the medical journal Lancet puts the true death toll at least 40% higher. Tuesday's stepped-up assault came even as mediators for a ceasefire said negotiations are at their closest point yet. In the occupied West Bank, at least 6 Palestinians, including a 15-year-old boy and 3 brothers, were killed in an Israeli airstrike on the Jenin refugee camp Tuesday.
Oh my God, now they're blowing up. They're still blowing up refugee camps. That's where people that are innocent go. People that have nothing, nowhere else to go. That's where they go.
Wafa news agency reported Israeli forces fired 3 missiles at a group of people, injuring several others. The attack came amidst more intense Israeli raids across the West Bank, in which at least another 12 Palestinians were arrested. Meanwhile, Israel's...
Imagine if Cuba with their fucking army went over to Dominican Republic or Haiti and just started blowing the shit out of everything, just taking land. Blowing the shit out of all of these motherfuckers and just saying, oh, they're terrorists. They're fucking terrorists, so we can do this. We can do this because we just say out of nowhere they're all fucking terrorists. So therefore, we have a blank carpet launch ability to do whatever the fuck we want because we just say they're terrorists. And if Cuba does that, it seems like it's okay because America's allies do it. So I don't know what America's on about, complaining about fucking human rights violations and shit. It's just such a, like, the hypocrisy is so, it pisses me off so much, the hypocrisy of these politicians and this fucking country, dude. It pisses me off.
Daily attacks on southern Lebanon in violation of a November ceasefire with Hezbollah, with Israeli forces blowing up houses and bulldozing roads in several villages. In the United States, the death toll from devastating fires across the Los Angeles area has risen to 25 people. Thousands of residents are preparing for more evacuation orders as officials warn of particularly dangerous weather with a forecast of more powerful winds blowing through the region, which could strengthen to up to 70 miles per hour. Firefighting crews are racing to contain the largest blazes, Palisades and Eaton fires, which have scorched and flattened entire communities. Dozens of people are still missing. President Biden said Monday the cost of recovery could be in the tens of billions of dollars.
Although the federal government is going to cover 100% of the cost for the next 180 days for things like firefighter overtime pay, debris removal, temporary shelters, It's going to cost tens of billions of dollars to get Los Angeles back to where it was. So we're going to need Congress to step up to provide funding to get this done.
Researchers at UCLA's Climate and Wildfire Research Initiative say global heating contributed to the wildfires. They estimate LA's hotter climate accounted for roughly 25% of the extreme fuel moisture deficit present when the fires exploded, found by intense Santa Ana winds. Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg outlined plans Tuesday to lay off 5% of the social media company's global workforce, or about 3,600 people. The mass
Man, fuck this guy, dude. I hate Meta.
layoffs come just days.
I hate all these billionaire fucking dickhead CEOs of tech companies. Like, get the fuck out of here. You don't do nothing for society. You don't do anything for society. You're a leech, a literal fucking leech. I'm sorry to say that.
After Zuckerberg announced Meta would end fact-checking across its Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram platforms. This comes as Zuckerberg is planning to co-host a black-tie reception Monday with Republican mega-donor Miriam Adelson to celebrate Trump's inauguration. Meta also gave $1 million to the Trump Inaugural Fund. Zuckerberg will have a prominent position at Trump's inauguration, seated near fellow multi-billionaires Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk, among Trump's cabinet nominees and elected officials. Former First Lady Michelle Obama said she will not attend Monday's inauguration. A statement from the office of Barack and Michelle Obama reads in part, "This is obviously not the outcome we had hoped for, given our profound disagreements with the Republican ticket on a whole host of issues, but living in a democracy is about recognizing that our point of view won't always win out and being willing to accept the peaceful transfer of power." Donald Trump's pick to become Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth appears to be moving closer to securing enough votes to be confirmed in the Senate after Republican Senator Joni Ernst of Iowa announced she'll back Hegseth. Comments ahead of Hegseth.
Ew, look how fake this bitch looks. Plastic, dude. All these like politicians, like they all get like surgeries and shit, like from all the Hollywood people. Like, have you guys seen Matt Gaetz? Like, Matt Gaetz is like a fucking weird doll.
Running two veterans organizations.
This guy's gonna be the dumbest fucking general or whatever his position is gonna be of the entire history of the United States. Is the dumbest motherfucker ever to be elected for like the position he's gonna get. He's a drunk too. He like literally drinks all the time.
Where he was accused of financial mismanagement. In exchange with Maine Independent Senator Angus King, Hegseth was unable to say whether he would abide by the international laws of warfare.
Of course.
Are we going to abide by the Geneva Convention and the prohibitions on torture, or are we not? Is it going to depend on the circumstances?
As I've stated multiple times, the Geneva Conventions are what we base ours, but what an American first national security policy is not going to do is hand its prerogatives over to international bodies that make decisions about how our men and women make decisions on the battlefield.
We'll have more on Pete Hegseth's Senate confirmation.
That's already breaking like a law of international law of war. So already him saying that's bad. Yep, we all know this. We all know this.
After headlines, we'll be playing highlights and speak with two people who were arrested for protesting during the hearings. They're both military veterans. Makers on Tuesday approved legislation that would ban transgender women and girls from participating in school sports. The bill would prohibit federal funding.
Come on, bro. Is this really the biggest problem like our country's facing right now? Trans people? Are you serious? Is this the biggest issue we gotta worry about? Trans people? Not climate change, not fucking racism, not like misogyny, not sexism, not like education, not like forest fires, not like I don't know, water crisis, a shortage of water. Like, we gotta literally focus on trans people. Come on, y'all.
From going to K through 12 schools that allow transgender students on girls' sports teams. Just 2 Democrats joined all Republicans in voting in favor. Representatives Vicente Gonzalez and Henry Cuellar of Texas. And Yoon Suk-yeol has become South Korea's first sitting president to be arrested after he was taken into custody for questioning in multiple criminal investigations related to his short-lived martial law declaration in early December.
Get
South
fucked,
Korean
you bitch.
authorities scaled walls and cut through barbed wire to enter Yoon's residence in the capital Seoul, bringing an end to a dramatic weeks-long standoff. Yoon has also been impeached by South Korean lawmakers and suspended, but will remain in office until the Constitutional Court ratifies the impeachment. Protesters in Seoul braved the cold early Wednesday ahead of Yoon's arrest.
Get fucked, you loser.
I believe the arrests should take place as soon as possible. In fact, the side of President Yoon Suk-yeol might argue that this concerns national dignity and that the status of the president should not be treated in this way. But regardless of all that, I think it's wrong for the leader of a rebellion to not face any legal consequences, and even though an arrest warrant has been issued, continue to resist that. The law should be equally applied to all people, and no matter how high the president's position, I firmly believe impunity is absolutely wrong.
Yup.
And those are some of the headlines.
We should do that, bro. We should arrest our fucking leaders if they're assholes and like fucking corrupt. But in America, we don't do that. So here's Bill Burr. Bill Burr's talking about the LA fires, and he's a little woke. He's a little woke over here, yo. Let's check it out. And then I'm going to bring up some old stuff about what he said about Cuba and socialism and stuff.
Fire was coming. Yes, like most people I had to. I got lucky, you know, the winds moved, but, you know, the fire was coming and all that stuff, so I feel lucky.
Are you guys back in?
And I think everybody did a great job.
Yeah.
Unlike the internet, you know?
Yeah, right, I know, it's right.
Oh, my God. All of these fire experts. Why didn't you just fly a helicopter into the ocean? And then just, I don't know, because there was 100-knot winds? You want to do that? You want to do that at night, you lunatic?
How are you?
This was definitely mismanaged.
That's a big word we're hearing now.
Mismanaged, like some idiot on the internet knows how to manage the worst fire in LA sitting there in his underwear. You know what? Looking at the footage on the internet, I have determined that this here was mismanaged.
For real.
You know about helicopters because I remember, and it's interesting now thinking about it because you said that.
About it. I know about the one that I fly. Other than that, I don't know anything about it.
You know
but
something.
If you're on
about...
the internet, you know everything.
I hope you know about it because you said that you got your pilot's license in case like all hell broke loose in LA, you could get out of LA, and at any moment did you think I'm going to make a run for that helicopter?
Well, the error in my thought was I didn't realize how expensive helicopters were. So
they are.
All I have is a two-seater, and I didn't want to have to make Sophie's choice with my family.
Damn.
So, you know, we all piled into the SUV like everybody else. But no, man, these guys were out there clearing the trees, getting the wires back up and everything. You know, I mean, it was like the perfect awful thing that could have happened, and it did. And I love how all the chatter out there is about bands of illegal immigrants and homeless people lighting fires. They light fires every day.
Yeah, it's that's what TYT is saying.
About bands of
like imagine like humans have been lighting fires since the fucking dawn of human history, you stupid fucking assholes. If fire was such a fucking delicate thing that any big fire could start that easily, like it happened in LA, the earth would have been gone. The earth would have been smoldering fire, a fireball for like a long time ago, because humans use fires and campfires and shit forever. So it's not fire, it's not people starting fires that is the issue. It's that there are like high winds and it's very hot and dry. Why? Because of climate change.
Illegal immigrants and homeless people lighting fires. They light fires every day. They're living outside. They're cold. And this theory that some homeless guy without a car went from Altadena all the way to the Pacific Palisades, and then we have a hang glider. You know, and they're talking about looting, but CNN and Fox News are not going to bring up the insurance companies that are just going to keep everybody's premiums and still give themselves a bonus. Yeah. Yes. Free Luigi.
Damn.
I love how they acted surprised. Why did that happen?
Damn.
No, he wrote on the bullets why it happened.
Oh, we're back to Luigi. Okay, yeah.
I never left Luigi.
I never left.
How is Bill Burr, the father, the
Damn.
husband?
Well, there was that, and here's this old clip.
Socialism. Hi, Bill, you redheaded fuck. I really appreciate the bluntness of that. How are you? Last week you mentioned you don't know why people demonize socialism. I was really taken aback at that statement. Oh, Jesus Christ. Every country that has tried socialism has failed, and it's responsible for tens of millions of deaths. All right.
Here he comes, debunking all these old Fox News boomer-ass comments.
So would you say capitalism is working?
No. Look at all the forest fires. Look at all the homelessness, homeless veterans, all this shit.
It is not, when what is it, 99% of the wealth is in fucking 2% of the people's hands? All of these tent cities, you're telling me this is working? You don't think capitalism is responsible for tens of millions of deaths? Anyway, Russia, Germany, China, Cuba, and most recently Venezuela have tried or right now are socialist countries.
Cuba, poor Cuba, yo. Cuba ain't doing shit, bro. Cubans can never be left alone by America. America's always trying to fucking prod and poke the shit out of Cuba.
As far as I know, whatever Cuba was trying to do, we prevented them from doing with a fucking embargo or whatever the hell we did. We've been fucking with them for 60 years.
Yes!
The fucking... As I know, whatever Cuba was trying to do, we prevented them from doing with a fucking embargo or whatever the hell we did. We've been fucking with them for 60 years.
Yes!
So I think you're looking at, what a lot of people do is you look at your own country through rose-colored glasses the same way you look at your own sports team like, oh, my team doesn't cheat, but your team does. I'll be honest with you. I don't think any form of government works because there's human beings running it, and there is inherently going to be backdoor deals and people, just with
greed.
Are just going to have the in.
Greed.
And they're going to pay off politicians and all of that, okay? What I do like about this here is that you have the opportunity to move up. You're not stuck with where you're at. But I mean, you're really sort of looking the other way with what capitalism has done to other countries. All the sweatshop labor, all the wars we've fought in over air quote freedom, where most of it is about natural resources. All of these fucking countries where we've gone in and, stuck in heads of the government that are going to do what we want to do so we can fucking take advantage of them. To sit there and look at capitalism like it's, I don't know, dude. But once again, I don't even think you can blame capitalism on that. I think you just can blame sociopathic people that both crave and ascend to positions of power. All right, I took off my Bergenstock, so I'm going to read the rest of this here. Okay, socialism all starts the same way. Create a boogeyman like corporations, the rich, or a race. Oh, yeah, we've never done that in this country. We've never created a boogeyman.
Are we socialists?
There's never, Jesus Christ, buddy. Blame them for all your problems. Yeah, we never did that. The leaders then promised to fix all the problems. Oh, boy. Slowly, the government starts to control every aspect of your life. Why does this sound so familiar? Promise that aren't they recording all our phone conversations now?
Yeah.
And we're slowly on our way to getting microchipped.
Yeah.
Promise that everybody will have the same equity and outcome. This creates mediocrity, loss of the middle class. Loss of the middle class. Where have I seen that before?
Bro, the middle class is shrinking so much in America right now. So the middle class is so tiny because the top class has it all. They're slowly gobbling it all up.
Of innovation, corporations are buying houses now. They're just buying them up so they can fucking Airbnb. Literally the American dream, buying a house. They're going to take that away in this country. That reduces the tax money coming out into the government. Buddy, I can't fucking read all of this horse shit. This is everything that we're doing too. Capitalism, okay, I'll get to the end here. Capitalism, now, you know what? Let's just read all of this because it's fucking hilarious that he's acting like none of this is happening in this country. And you know what's funny about people? You don't like it, get the fuck out of here. This is my favorite thing ever. Yet you can look at your sports team and be like, what the fuck is this coach doing? And then nobody goes like, you don't go fucking root for somebody else. No, I'm criticizing it because I love it and I want it to win. Anyways, this creates mediocrity, loss of the middle class, loss of innovation, punish the rich, which eventually leads to them leaving the country. Oh, yeah, that hasn't happened. Yeah, the rich haven't, their money leaves the country and then comes back in the form of an interest-free loan that is then forgiven. Jesus, buddy, come on. That reduces tax money coming into the government and loss of jobs because the richest people usually employ the most of the population. Oh, boy. Disarm the citizens so that they cannot revolt. Control the media, like promoting the government. Control the media. There's two guys that own the media, Ted Turner and fucking that other guy there, the guy from Fox News.
Rupert Murdoch.
That's why we're Hatfields and McCoys right now. Disarm the citizens so they cannot revolt. Control the media like promoting the government agenda with propaganda, then censorship of all their other ideas. Yeah, creating areas where you can only protest, which are down and around the corner, away from the fucking media. Yeah, okay. Eventually, all rights are taken away. Dissenters, journalists, and politicians, oppositions are jailed or executed. Eventually, the leaders will become exactly what they originally campaigned against.
Bro, America's doing all this shit. All the stuff this guy's complaining about that a socialist, blah, 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 communist country does is literally everything America has done. That's why you hear Bill Burr like, bro, you're tripping. Like, America has done all this.
Jesus Christ, buddy. I've forgotten what you're... He goes, there's much more to it on an economic level, but as a fellow moron, it's too complicated for me to understand. All right. I am also a fellow moron, but dude, all of that shit has happened. If you look at all the rights and everything that you have lost in the last fucking 20 years, I don't even begin in creating a boogeyman and racism, genocide, all of that shit. We've done all of that.
Yeah.
We've done all of that. You know, when I was a kid, there was rules on media ownership. No one person could own any 7. It was rules of 7. No one person can own 7 radio stations, newspapers, TV stations, blah, 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 in one market, because they knew if you owned all of that, if you control the media, you control thought. And yet they've let Ted Turner and that fucking, I want to say Rupert Murdoch. Do exactly that. And present CNN and Fox News have the fucking balls to present the people that are on TV as journalists and then also acting as though you're watching news. You're not. You're watching propaganda. Okay? So there you go.
Let's go. We love Bill Burr. We salute Bill Burr, our communist socialist leader, Bill Burr. We love you, sir. All right, let's check this out.
Because, quote, that's...
Bro, the homeless are doing it. They're more inclined to use fire to get their anger out.
And this
The homeless?
theory that some homeless guy without a car went from Altadena all the way to the Pacific Palisades, and then we have a hang glider.
Comedian Bill Burr has his finger on the pulse in a way that many comedians simply do not. So I'm going to get to a couple of clips here from his interview with Jimmy Kimmel last night, as well as some quotes from his interview with Variety that touch on many topics, including the wildfires as well, but also Gaza, CEOs, and his thoughts on comedians complaining about not being able to say things. And we'll get to some comments that he makes about the wildfires that appeared to... I'm not sure if he was aware of Joe Rogan's comments, but they are clearly completely in contrast to what Joe Rogan is saying, which, again, Rogan is completely out of touch. Bill Burr, one of the few that actually, I should say one of the few in that sort of status that know what is actually going on. So let me first get to the first clip with Jimmy Kimmel.
I heard you had to evacuate your home.
Yes, like most people I had to. I got lucky, the winds moved, but, the fire was coming and all that stuff, so I feel lucky.
Are you guys back in?
And I think everybody did a great job.
Yeah.
Unlike the internet,
Yeah, right, I know, it's right.
Oh, my God. All of these fire experts. Why didn't you just fly a helicopter into the ocean? And then just, I don't know, because there was 100-knot winds? You want to do that? You want to do that at night, you lunatic?
How are you?
This was definitely mismanaged.
That's a big word we're hearing now.
Mismanaged, like some idiot on the internet knows how to manage the worst fire in LA sitting there in his underwear. You know what? Looking at the footage on the internet, I have determined that this here was mismanaged.
All right, this gets to a topic that I have wanted to discuss concerning these wildfires. And that is how some people that have a platform, how they've been using their platform to largely focus on the local politicians in California, as if they're the problem and not the fact that a massive climate disaster hit the state. So Bill Burr goes deeper on this topic in his interview with Variety. I'll link to this below the video as well. But he has a new special coming out, which is why he's doing all these interviews now. But he goes on to say he's disgusted by the fact that the natural disasters, some of the worst in California's history, have already become politicized online. But what kills me is a lot of it is just bots. I think it's treasonous behavior to politicize everything, keeping regular working people at each other's throats. That is only good for one group of people, and it's not working people. So that, I think, is speaking to how some of the complaints, particularly from the right, have been focused on, you know, the firefighters and DEI, and oh my God, the fire department's led by a lesbian woman, as if the firefighters are the focus of your ire from a fire that is happening. Like, it's so stupid. These are the people, these are the first responders. These are the ones actually trying to save lives, and some have been blaming them for these disasters. But he goes on to say, if I'm going to make fun of CNN, I've got to make fun of Fox. I make fun of the whole thing because I don't feel that politicians work for us. They work for the super rich, and they're grossly underpaid, so they're open to bribery. It gives regular people something to get mad at. Like with these fires, people are blaming Governor Newsom. It doesn't make a difference. That was going to happen no matter who was governor. Which also goes to the fact that many of these wildfires have hit people that are more well off. If let's say Governor Newsom only worked for the rich, and you could argue in many ways he does, but let's say that's his focus. Why wouldn't he do what he could to stop the fires if he could do that? Clearly, there's a greater issue here, and that is the climate crisis that has exacerbated these sorts of disasters. So, as Vox writes here, firefighters are working desperately to corral the flames and keep them away from people's homes, but there's little they can do to halt the combination of ample fuel, dry weather, and high winds. And that speaks to just the historically low rainfall in
God damn. Winter 2024 to 25. 2.2% rainfall, bro. So when was his record high? When was the blue line?
LA this winter. So if you remember about a year ago, there was record high rainfall. There were floods in and around LA. This year, there hasn't been rain in LA since May, and that has led to incredibly dry conditions. And look where they're sitting at here in terms of, you know, the low rainfall. 2.2% compared to, you know, where the average is or where the record high is. Just this has led to conditions on the ground that are insane. And as The Guardian writes, these fires are an especially acute example of something climate scientists have been warning about for decades: compound climate disasters that, when they occur simultaneously, produce much more damage than they would individually. If your focus in response to these fires are on local politicians as opposed to the greater issue of the climate crisis, then you're missing the point. It's like getting angry at the waiter for the restaurant closing down. Maybe aim a little higher. The issue aren't the politicians on the ground in this situation. You could, you know, argue the response could be a little better. You could argue about funding and where more funding should be. But the mass of the disaster would have happened regardless because of the conditions on the ground and because of the conditions of the climate crisis that created those conditions. So let me get to the next clip.
No, man, these guys were out there clearing the trees, getting the wires back up and everything. You know, I mean, it was like the perfect awful thing that could have happened, and it did. And I love how all the chatter out there is about bands of illegal immigrants and homeless people lighting fires. They light fires every day. They're living outside. They're cold. And this theory that some homeless guy without a car went from Altadena all the way to the Pacific Palisades. Right. And then we have a hang glider. You know, and they're talking about looting, but CNN and Fox News are not going to bring up the insurance companies that are just going to keep everybody's premiums and still give themselves a bonus. Yeah. Yes.
Literally, yo.
surprised. Why did that happen? I have no idea. He wrote on the bullets why it happened.
Oh, we're back to Luigi. Okay, yeah.
I never left Luigi.
All right, I got to get to his comments there on Luigi and the CEOs with another quote that he has in the Variety interview, as well as I'll get to his comments on Gaza. But first, I want to touch on these comments that he made about both the homeless apparently starting the fires and the looting as well, because these are two topics that were just recently touched on in an episode of the Joe Rogan Experience podcast, which many are now calling the Joe Rogan Billionaire Bootlicking Experience, as this is apparently where billionaires now go to recycle their image. But God, Rogan has completely lost his way. This used to be a podcast that was enjoyable, 5, 10 years
look at all these
ago,
loser-ass
it's
billionaires,
completely
bro.
just useless now. But let me get to some of these comments, because this is amazing. As the Tennessee Holler writes here, Rogan mocks the idea that climate change is a factor, blames the fires on homeless people, says LA lets looters go.
This is a whiny liberal. It's fucking climate change. Wake up. No, it's arson, you fucking idiots.
I think it's Mr. Beast. He's setting up a new video.
Wow. That's a strong accusation.
Bold.
No, just kidding.
But
they've been trying to get rid of the homeless for a while.
Bro, the homeless are doing it.
Well, they're flammable.
Everyone is, but they're more inclined to use fire to get their anger out.
Yeah,
that's true.
How do you know that? Why are you making shit up?
People lighting things on fire.
This dude's just making shit up about homeless people, bro. And then people hear that and they go hurt a homeless person.
Filmed it. He put it up on his Instagram.
Really?
Yeah. In the middle of the firestorm, people were lighting things on fire to contribute to the fire.
Wow.
You've got losers.
Whoa.
You have 100,000 losers that are just camping on your street. What do you think's gonna happen?
Bro, he said who, and he's not gonna answer who, because he's making all this shit up.
What do you think's gonna happen when the people with the houses are in jeopardy? What do you think is gonna happen when these people that are living in $50 million houses and you're camping out a block away, which is exactly what's going on over there?
And the looting.
Well, they looted people's houses when they found out that places were getting evacuated. Swarms of organized gangs were showing up. This lady said 100 guys showed up in front of this house, and she thought they were helping our neighbor move. They just broke down the door and started stealing TVs, stealing everything.
This man is just deep-throating right-wing talking points and regurgitating it for the rest of us. It is so amazing to watch. Now, yes, of course, arson likely was one of the factors in sparking it, but arson exists all over the world. Very rarely does it lead to an entire state catching fire.
Yeah, arson doesn't cause a fucking fire tornado to appear. Bro, like, it's the air and the heat and the dryness.
Clearly, there are other factors at play here when it comes to just how dry the LA area has been. So, as Forbes writes here, what sparked the California wildfires? Experts consider power lines, fireworks, and arson. So many things could have sparked it, but what leads to it continuing as long as it has? High winds, the incredibly dry conditions on the ground, obviously are factors here. And the reason that those are things is because of the conditions of the climate. It's just, this is a guy that, what is it, back in 2018 was clowning Candace Owens for not believing in climate change. And now here he is in 2025 being the clown.
Right?
Being the absolute dipshit and making fun of people who discuss climate change. It's been so sad to watch. Now, let me get to Bill Burr's comments on CEOs here. So in Variety, he says the funny thing when the CEO got whacked was watching CEOs have to be uncomfortable. I'm sure they didn't learn anything, but it's like, this is how you make everybody feel day to day as you apply pressure. Because, quote, that's how business is done. How you leave this burning wreckage of destroyed lives as you restructure or consolidate. It was fun for them to worry. And I've discussed other comments that he made on the CEO in the past as well. He has been one of the few voices in this sort of, celebrity status willing to say this sort of thing. He also goes on, I was going to watch the special anyways, but I really want to see it day one, considering it apparently one of the first topics he gets into is Israel and Palestine. So he says, I'm just saying we need to come up with a way to solve our differences without dropping bombs on children. I don't think anybody would have a problem with that. So, he claims it's apolitical, Bill Burr tries to hit both sides. He tries to, you could argue, be apolitical, but everything is political. That's the reality of the world. So it's good to see that, you know, he's against dropping bombs on children. I know it's sort of a low bar here, but it's a bar that not many people with the kind of platform he has been willing to even discuss. And this is on the idea, you know, comedians like Joe Rogan complaining about, oh, you can't say anything anymore. People are acting like when you can. People are acting like what you can say now in America, you could say 50 or 60 years ago. When I was born, that was right after Lenny Bruce was arrested for obscenity in San Francisco and George Carlin repeatedly for his 7 dirty words routine. People were really nervous that you couldn't say certain things. That doesn't exist anymore. I guess it exists online in a phony way. This goes, again, to how Bill Burr is so much more in tune with culture and society than the vast majority of comedians in his space, or at least comedians that have his level of popularity. I love to see it. It's been wonderful to watch Bill Burr touch on these issues in a way that very few people are willing to do, and speak truth in a way that I think is able to get in the minds, in the heads of more people across political spectrums in a way that many comedians simply are not able, and that many people generally simply are not able to do.
Let's check this out. This is how humanitarian and pro human rights our country is.
Criminal, why aren't you in The Hague? Why aren't you in The Hague? Why aren't you in The Hague?
2 journalists were dragged out of Secretary of State Antony Blinken's final press conference after daring to ask questions that have gone unanswered for a year. So I'm going to show you these clips, as well as the breakdown, the fallout from all of this, as well as the reaction from CNN, which, when faced with actual journalism, are stunned to discover how rude people can be. But before I get there, let me first just briefly here, we are in the midst of a potential ceasefire. Now, I'm skeptical because we know that Trump got a lot of money from a major donor in relation to his support of allowing Israel to annex the West Bank. I feel like this is the transaction that is actually going to go on here, but we're going to wait and see. But, you know, even after the ceasefire was announced, Israel killed 78 people, at least 78 people in Gaza. So, you know, they're making sure to get all the bombs in before the actual ceasefire is supposed to come into force, which is on Sunday. But this gets to the topics at hand here, where the first journalist, as you see, is going to be dragged out while he's questioning Antony Blinken.
You waved the white flag before Israeli fascism.
We'll have the time to take questions
Your
at the end.
father-in-law was an Israel lobbyist. Your grandfather was an Israel lobbyist. Are you compromised by Israel? Why did you allow the Holocaust of our time to happen? How does it feel to have your legacy be genocide? How does it feel to have your legacy be genocide? You too, Matt. You smirk through the whole thing every day. You smirk through the genocide.
Thank you. So that was Max Blumenthal. The reaction there from Antony Blinken is just priceless. Just, thank you. Thank you for accurately describing what my legacy will be. So I want to get to the next clip here that I'm going to focus on a bit, because the way CNN treats him is wild. But Rashida Tlaib tweeted this out, saying, Blinken lied to Congress and allowed starvation to be used as a weapon of war. It's well documented. He supported war crimes and blatantly lied to Congress about it. So I'm going to get to more of a breakdown on this, but I want to show you the clip, the reason why this is brought up here, as you're going to see journalist Sam Husseini here, and in the end of the clip, he claims that Blinken should be in The Hague, and the case is pretty solid on that.
Finally, I just wanted to share this morning.
Get your hands off me. Get your hands off me. Get your hands off me. Answer a
Look
damn
at these fucking pigs. These pigs.
question.
I look forward to answering questions in a few minutes.
No, he's fucking lying, dude. He's not going to answer any questions. He says, I'm looking forward to answer questions, but he's about to retire. He's about to walk off. And his job's done. Like, that's it. They're going to get a new guy. So he's not gonna answer any questions, and these questions we've been asking for like fucking months, almost a year.
Israel's nuclear weapons, everybody from the ICJ. I was sitting here quietly, and now I'm being manhandled by 2 or 3 people. You pontificate about a free press. You pontificate about a free press. You are hurting me. You are hurting me. You are hurting me. I'm asking questions after being told by Matt Miller that he will not answer my questions until I'm asked.
Please, sir, respect the process. We'll have an opportunity to take questions in a few minutes.
Wasn't the point of the May 31st statement to block the ICJ orders? You blocked the ICJ orders.
Please, sir, respect the process. Thank you.
Oh, respect the process. Respect this process while everybody from Amnesty International, to the ICJ saying that Israel's doing genocide and extermination, and you're telling me to respect the process. Criminal, why aren't you in the Hague? Why aren't you in the Hague?
Fucking criminal, bro.
It is wild to me how Antony Blinken tries to push this off by saying, respect the process. As pointed out there by journalist Sam Husseini.
Fuck the process.
This is a government that has blatantly disregarded the process of international order, where you have the ICC, the ICJ, human rights groups like Amnesty International, like Human Rights Watch, like Israel-based B'Tselem, all acknowledging the genocide, the ethnic cleansing, the mass war crimes being committed by the Israeli government against Palestinians. And as I mentioned, the ICC, as I covered a couple months ago, issuing an arrest warrant for Netanyahu over this. All ignoring this. Not even just ignoring it, but coming to the defense of Netanyahu and Israel in the face of it. Yet you're telling this journalist to respect the process.
Yeah, fuck
So
out of
in case
here.
you're wondering about, why he was yelling out there as opposed to, I guess, respecting the process, Ryan Grimm writes here, just before this, Husseini asked Blinken about the Hannibal Directive, Israeli doctrine that says it is better to kill an Israeli rather than allow them to be taken hostage. And Blinken said he would answer questions later. There was a back and forth with a State Department official. She said, wait to ask your questions. And he said Matt Miller had told him he wouldn't answer Sam's questions. And Sam told her, go away, and added, I'm not a potted plant. Then the security came in, and it led to what you see above. I didn't record the earlier part because I didn't think it would lead to this kind of removal. So I'm going to get to another angle on this as well, because you could actually see Husseini's face in the other clips. But quickly here on why Blinken belongs in The Hague. So as ProPublica reported months ago, Israel deliberately blocked humanitarian aid to Gaza. 2 government bodies, U.S. bodies, concluded. Antony Blinken rejected them. So Blinken told Congress, quote, we do not currently assess that the Israeli government is prohibiting or otherwise restricting aid, even though the U.S. Agency for International Development and others had determined that Israel had broken the law. So their conclusion was explosive because U.S. law requires the government to cut off weapons shipments to countries that prevent the delivery of U.S.-backed humanitarian aid, which goes to why Blinken and Joe Biden did not want to recognize the actual facts. Blinken and the administration of President Joe Biden did not accept either finding. Prior to his report, USAID had sent Blinken a detailed 17-page memo on Israel's conduct. The memo described instances of Israeli interference with aid efforts, including killing aid workers, razing agricultural structures, bombing ambulances and hospitals, sitting on supply depots, and routinely turning away trucks full of food and medicine. The facts are clear. Antony Blinken not only just turned his head to this, but helped to enable this as the U.S. government continues to this day to fund and supply Israel with weapons. This is why he belongs in The Hague. Let me get to a few more angles of what happened here.
Carry in my pocket the names of those who have been arbitrarily detained and unfairly held hostage, unjustly held hostage, and bringing them home, returning them to their families, returning them to their loved ones. Finally,
get your hands off me. 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 I'm asking questions after being told by Matt Miller that he will not answer my questions until I'm asking questions. Wasn't the point of the May 31st statement to block the ICJ orders? You blocked the ICJ orders.
Please, sir, respect the process.
Respect the process. Respect the process. While everybody from Amnesty International. From Amnesty International to the ICJ saying that Israel's doing genocide and extermination, and you're telling me to respect the process. Criminal, why aren't you in the Hague?
So you can see there that security walks up to him while he is not interrupting. I believe he interrupted earlier, but again, he was told that he would not be able to ask these questions. These are questions that have gone unanswered for a year. And considering this is Lincoln's final press conference, you could understand the frustration there. So Husseini went on Twitter later on to break down exactly what he was going to ask, saying here, "I was seriously manhandled, but I'm back home. Thanks for all the support, folks. My intention was to ask tough questions at every opportunity during the news conference, which state personnel obviously cut short. Was the point of the May 31st announcement to block implementation of the May 24th ICJ order? Why do you refuse to recognize the Geneva Conventions as applying to Gaza? Everyone from Amnesty International to the ICC accuses Israel of extermination and genocide. Why are you not in The Hague? Why was your stepfather connected to both Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein?
Woo!
Miller here pretends not to know about the Hannibal Directive. Do you know about the Hannibal Directive? Why do you not even acknowledge Israel's nuclear weapons?" And he says here, "I've written about each of these subjects and will continue to do so via Husseini.org. Now, I want to get to CNN.
Whoa. Let's look at this Jeffrey Epstein shit. What? Blinken stepfather connect this guy got does this guy have dirt on him? So their family is connected because his stepdad knows Maxwell's family somehow. So yeah, there's some connection. I wouldn't be surprised if he's a weirdo, dude.
Dan's reaction. First, this point here made by Trita Parsi, physically dragging out a reporter from the State Department briefing room while preaching press freedom to the rest of the world is the perfect example of the Biden administration's love affair with double standards and duplicity. And this gets to the CNN clip, because you're going to see here. They also go on to preach how wonderful press freedom in America is after showcasing what just happened.
As you heard, he was repeatedly interrupted by some cringeworthy heckling by activists, which is highly unusual.
Cringeworthy heckling by an activist. That was a fucking journalist, not an activist. That was a journalist, and they kicked him out for asking questions. This is the media. The media. Look at the media planting shit in your mind. This is propaganda. This is how they work.
What just happened?
As you heard, he was repeatedly interrupted by some cringeworthy heckling by activists, which is highly unusual. in a situation like this. I'm going to bring you in, Alex. I mean, we were both sitting here pretty stunned, frankly. This is supposed to be a press conference with a room of journalists. Those were activists.
Why aren't you
Those were journalists, you dumb bitch.
Hey, why aren't you about Israel?
Wow.
So I can't speak to.
They literally pick the videos where you can't even see the guy. Look at this. They pick all the videos where you can't even see the journalist. Look. You can't see the guy. You can barely see the guy.
Wow.
So I can't speak to
Whoa.
who that was. What I will say is that, you know, over the past few years, whether it's the Pentagon, the State Department, the White House, we have seen, and allow me to be cheesy for a moment, this is a testament to American democracy and the way that American administrations approach their press rooms.
I mean, yeah, it is a testament to it, but not in the way that you think it is. They dragged the man out, asking questions that apparently other journalists there are afraid to ask. That's why he's asking them in the way he's asking them, because they have gone unanswered for a year, and he wants to get them out. What's a testament to press freedom after showing that is just a remarkable
It's fucking
take.
bullshit.
Now, the other part of that is so insane is the anchor calling this cringe-worthy heckling. These people, man, they value, you will, once you recognize this, and I'm sure many of you that watch this network, this channel, like I'm a network. I don't know why I call myself a network. Any of you that watch this channel on a consistent basis, you know this already. But they value CNN, MSNBC, Fox News to a degree. You know, they're worse in other ways, but they value decorum. They value waiting your turn. They value, you know, kind behavior above all else. Regardless, you know, genocide going on that the U.S. is funding, supplying weapons for. Oh, how dare you ask questions out of turn?
Mm-hmm.
That's cringeworthy. Not, you know, the genocide that the U.S. is funding. No, let's excuse that and focus on the man that very rudely yelled out amongst the crowd. Like, it's just so. I don't know if it's like a generational thing, if it's just immediate. It is just so bizarre to see how much they value decorum over the actual lives of human beings. So a few last things here. You know, they act like, who is this guy? I don't know. Sam Husseini has been around forever. You can watch this clip. I'll link this below. There's no reason playing or no point to play it, but this is from 1998. He's asking Netanyahu a question here about the ethnic cleansing of Palestinians. Here he is in 2018 being dragged out of a Trump-Putin press conference, and which was widely reported on at the time as well. Be it, you know, Variety. This is a CNN clip. CNN. Everyone was reporting on this. So it's not like this is some guy out of nowhere.
Who's this activist?
The commentator here from Mediaite, which, you know, they're all over the place in terms of their politics. They just kind of want to cover things that are clickbaity. But their commentary here, disrupted by Blinken's presser with repeated shouts and diatribes. I love this phrasing here. Diatribes about civilian and journalist deaths in Gaza. Diatribes. Clearly a way to try and disregard the comments, but kind of hard to claim these are simply diatribes when you're talking about civilian and journalist deaths.
Woo! All right, let's move on to Hasan and firefighters. Yeah, let's check this out. Incarcerated firefighters. Hasan talks to them. And Nick Cannon was there too. Here we go.
we're putting the work in to not only better ourselves, but better our communities.
Bro, don't hype it up too much. They're not gonna give you more. They're not gonna give you more money. It's crazy. They get paid $5 a day. It's bullshit. This fire would be so much larger if they weren't out here. They need to get paid an adequate wage. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are on our way to the Rose Bowl right now, where we are going to be linking up with a new friend of the show. His name is Scott. He's a producer, and he's also a recidivism activist. We're going to be linking up with him because he is going to be feeding some of the firefighters that have been working tirelessly around the clock in combating all the wildfires that have been taking place in Los Angeles. So far, the last death toll that I saw was around 10, with more than 10,000 structures that have been burned to the ground. Obviously, this is one of the most impactful wildfires, certainly the most devastating wildfire in California history, and one of the lesser known aspects of combating wildfires in the state of California is the fact that the California state relies sometimes upwards of 30% of the firefighting force at any given point during wildfire season. California state relies on inmates, incarcerated firefighters. Some of these incarcerated firefighters make $5 to $10 a day according to publicly available data. Some of them makes upwards of
that's a
$26
war crime.
a day. Now, obviously, these numbers are incredibly low. They are incarcerated.
Imagine making $5 a day, guys.
Valuable training program, and until recently, they had no opportunity to join a full-time staffed employed fire department. Since I believe 2022, there have been initiatives to expunge their record if they have any drug offenses, or if they have any sort of felony on their record. They're incarcerated. They must have it expunged in order to be able to get EMT training, which is a requirement to become a California firefighter. They still, as far as I understand, cannot join municipalities unless it's like a super rare instance. We're going to be talking to these guys. They're still technically in prison, but for the time being, they're out of prison and at the Rose Bowl in the staging area, you know, after a long day, sometimes 12-hour shifts or even longer, combating wildfires, clearing out brush. So we're going to go talk to them about their experiences and what their day-to-day looks like, and hopefully help people understand that the incarcerated population are human too. Now, of course, this sounds really silly when I say it, but unfortunately, it's something that must be said, because in the United States of America, we have one of the most draconian prison structures, one of the worst carceral states on the entire planet. 25% of the entire planet's prisoner population, despite only making up 4% of the entire planet's population. A quarter of the imprisoned people on this planet behind bars are in the United States of America. Even in one of the, on paper, most successful reintegration initiatives, this is a very valuable training structure and allowing prisoners to experience dignity and actually give back to their communities. It still seemingly is used as a way to basically have a servile, indentured servant population. Slavery, as you know, is constitutionally protected under the 13th Amendment. Slavery as a mechanism of punishment is perfectly permissible, allowed, and still exists in the United States of America, in many states, including California. California, as a matter of fact, had a ballot initiative in the last election, the general election that we just had, where they overwhelmingly voted to preserve slavery as a form of punishment in the state constitution. I'm joined, of course, by...
Yeah, I know. America still has slavery. Who would have thought? Yeah, that is crazy. That is a crazy fact. Like, we still have slavery. It's just like if you're in prison, though.
Caroline Kwan, Marchie Poo, and
Hey,
also my
what up,
very
y'all?
own volunteer firefighter, engineer extraordinaire, Marat Piker.
Marat, what up,
Thank
Marat?
you guys so much for coming.
So the Anti-Recidivism Coalition, that's a group that works with these incarcerated firefighters who we are going to go talk to. They currently have a fundraiser to raise funds for these firefighters after they are released from prison. The way firefighting works, not even just during times of crisis like this, is that they're 24 hours on, 24 hours off. So we're going to be talking to a group of people who are on the 24 hours off, but obviously they're exhausted, and it's a lot what they're doing right now, but that's how it is. So they work for 24 hours straight, and then they have 24 hours off.
God damn.
But,
oh my God, the governor's there right now.
Oh, well, that'll be fun.
Gavin is right behind us right now.
Whoa,
Big
Gavin Newsom?
Gruesome Governor Gavin Newsom. California. I've never met him. California lost, ruling with an iron fist. What do you want to tell the camera about yourself?
Scott Budnick, movie producer, spent 14 years making The Hangover and Project X and a bunch of stupid shit. went into juvenile hall, met a bunch of incarcerated kids, and started doing this. And here we are, still making movies, but doing this is what kind of feeds my soul.
And what's the group that you work with?
That's really cool, bro. Project X is a really good movie. Hangover was all right.
Predominantly, like you have a recidivism.
Yeah, ARC.
Right?
So
ARC.
it's an organization I started. So after I was making comedies, then I did that, and now I'm back in the movie business making movies, but I'm still on the board of ARC and doing this kind of work.
We were supposed to have a meeting
on Friday, and I got evacuated.
That was like not. I didn't even realize that you were doing this thing. We were supposed to have this meeting, and I thought it was like a regular, sometimes producers and stuff like that hit me up. And then Caroline was like, oh, I was doing some research on like incarcerated firefighters, like where to donate and whatnot, because it's something that we talk about quite a bit.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, there's this guy, Scott Budnick. And I was like, I know this name. Where do I know? It's like, oh my God.
Wait, you figured this out?
Yeah, she's the one.
I'm like, wait a second, that's crazy that these two things intersected.
We actually have a mutual.
How's it going? What's going on, man? Kimbo, nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Kimbo, Hasan, nice to meet
I
you.
was like, oh, this guy. Okay, I think we gotta connect with them.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Any big Kimbo right here?
Kimbo, you're on Twitch.
What's up with it? How's it going?
So, from what
You
we
guys
understand, Scott was telling us, Scott was giving us the lay of the land here.
Okay.
So you're originally from Juvie, right? Or
nah, I'm a youth offender.
You're a youth
I caught my
offender.
case at 18.
All the red caps here, in particular, if you can show right there, they're all from. Are you guys all from the same correctional facility?
Yeah, we're all from Growlersburg Fire Camp.
Okay.
We're the Wild Peak Crews.
Okay.
So here right now.
These guys went in as juvenile offenders. From what I understand, there's also there's a lot of restrictions in terms of who can do this kind of firefighting as an incarcerated individual. But for you guys, there's a additional opportunity, right? Like even if you went in as a violent offender,
yes, sir.
if you went into a juvenile facility, you still have the ability to come.
Yeah.
And get training. What are the benefits of doing something like this?
Okay, we got violent crimes, so we got sentenced to a longer time.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to go to high-level security yards, real serious stuff going down, real dangerous yards. But with this opportunity with Scott Budnick, he let the guys that got caught up at 18 not have to go do time with like OG lifers and all that. So we got an opportunity to come to fire camp. And we get time cuts, so time off our sentence, a bunch of time off our sentence. We're like the highest paid inmates in the whole system.
What's the pay though? It's still pretty low, right?
Yeah, it's still low. I think I get like $180 a month.
That's crazy.
They give you extra when it's during a crisis, right?
Nah, we don't get no extra during no crisis. No? Not for us. Maybe the free firefighters, but we don't get no extra during the crisis. But there's supposed to be a pay increase in the future. We're supposed to get $5 an hour. That's still low for like people on the street. But for us, we're like that make us like we'll be doing real well.
Yeah, but you're doing crazy work. You're out here. You said 24 hours in, 24 hours out, right? And then sometimes they do 12 hours in, 12 off. But I mean, what are some of the things that you do on a day-to-day basis out here?
We go in with our tools. We hike a bunch of miles. We're on the mountain. Then we we work with our hand tools. You feel me?
Yeah.
So it's like the hardest job in the firefighting for the wildland. Period. It's like we're like infantry. We're the foot soldiers.
Yeah.
So we're cutting line. We're scraping brush. We're using chainsaws. Scraping brush. We're making a path between the fire and the rest of the fuel, community, the brush. So we make that barrier. We create that barrier with our hand tools. But it takes a long time. It takes hours and hours, and we go where the bulldozers can't get to. You feel me? So we're going tight spaces, real steep, where a bulldozer would like fall if it would try to go up there. So yeah, it's crazy stuff. We sleep out there. We get our rest when we can out there on the mountain. It's crazy. Yeah.
It gets dangerous too, right?
It's dangerous.
Yeah.
It's dangerous. I have to dodge rocks sometimes coming down. Dodge them. You feel me? I swear to God, on my mama. We got it. This is crazy, bro. It's crazy. It's dangerous work.
Will you like it?
Yeah.
Do you feel like it's almost like a respite from being? Is it better than being in prison or no?
It's way better because I was in a prison yard. I'm seeing guys get stabbed, get jumped, get beat up. The cops treat us
That's not good. You don't want to be. You don't want to be in prison. I'd rather do this shit. I'm not gonna lie.
like shit. But here, we get better treatment, right?
talk to us like humans. They talk to us like humans. We got a job. We're underpaid, but we got a job.
Yeah.
You feel me? And then the community comes out and shows us all kinds of love. We never received that growing up. We never received that kind of love, that kind of recognition for anything we've done. So now, doing this kind of stuff and all this love coming, that's life-changing for a lot of guys. Because that's all they be needing is a little bit of recognition.
Aww.
With this, it's life-changing, and we get opportunities at careers.
How long was your sentence?
Just gotta give them a little bit of love, man. A little bit of love and recognition.
17 years.
17 years.
Yep.
God damn. They're gonna shave it off. Though.
Yep.
They're gonna shave it off.
They're gonna shave it off. They shaving some off.
They better shave it off.
They better shave that shit off.
You feel me? 17 years, but now I'm at camp. I got about 2 years left. 2 years left. I had to work a bunch of time off with schooling and graduating high school.
How old are you now?
I'm 25 now.
Okay.
I've been down for a minute.
I feel you.
I started at 18, 25 now.
And you got linked up with this program how many years ago?
I got to fire camp last year in November. That was the first time any person like with my kind of case, violent crime, was allowed to go to fire camp last year in November. So we're the start of it.
What about for adult offenders? Do you think that like it's a good program overall, right? Like it's like. Even if it wasn't fighting wildfires, like, do you feel like these kinds of initiatives? You talked about feeling like a human, right? Feeling like a sense of dignity from other people. Do you feel like these kinds of programs, reintegration programs like that, would be successful overall? Like in terms of giving you proper training and giving you tools to.
Poor Kimbo, bro. He wants to eat his food, bro. That food's getting cold, bro. Kimbo.
To one, lower your sentence. Give back to the community somehow, and then when you go out, you have. Well, I'm not entirely sure about the wildfire programs in general, but like in general, it's good to have that kind of work experience, so you don't feel like your life is lost.
Yeah, it can be successful, but the thing is the pay. The work compared to the pay is like it's crazy.
Yeah.
So a lot of guys get broke off on the mountain, get their body get beat up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if the pay went up, more guys would be more grateful for the opportunity.
Yeah.
We're grateful for the opportunity. We got all this time. You feel me? We're young. Then we're real excited. We're real motivated. So when we get out, we're firefighters. You feel me? We're not running the streets no more.
Yeah.
But for the adult crews, I mean, it just depends on their motivation. But it's hard work. So if you're lazy, you're not gonna last. You're gonna hate it. But if you're motivated to better yourself, it's gonna work for you as long as you work it.
It's nice to hear from you, man. I don't want to keep you from eating your food.
It's all good, man. It's good, man. It's my 24 down. Appreciate you guys for coming out.
Yeah, nice to meet you,
bro.
Xavier, he's down to talk, and then if you
Yeah.
guys wanna.
Come here. Let's talk. Yo, does the state give you those?
Yeah. We get them brand new, though.
Those are kind of drippy, dude.
Just a little bit. You know, so you look fly on the mountain. Something nice.
Yeah. Do you get to keep it? Do you get to keep the hats?
Yeah.
Oh, you get to bring it back?
Well, everything, they give us everything. Everything's kind of state issue when you get there. They kind of prepare you for the fires. So that way when you get out there, do what you gotta do.
I'm saying, like, when you go back, do you get to keep them?
I don't think so.
It's crazy.
It's considered an antique.
I
don't think he wants to keep that either.
I'm not gonna. I'm gonna cop his shoe.
You're like, hey, can I get this?
No, but I did see some jackets
Damn.
there.
That sounds like, yo, this is the proletarian swag. They got the proletarian fit right here.
Pretty sweet.
All right, bro, chill. We're not gonna take their clothes off their back, bro. They're fucking fighting wildfires out there.
Look, we'll give it to you, man. We'll give it to you. It's a donation.
All right. So, how are you guys feeling? Is the
Great.
tacos
We're
good?
blessed. We're blessed.
Yeah?
I haven't even tried them yet. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Do you want to eat first?
No, it's all right. It's all right. You want to try one?
No, I'm good. I just ate. I
No,
just ate
I'm
before I
good,
got
thank
here.
you, too.
While you eat, you talk. How about that? And then swap it out. All right.
So, again,
Don't be-
Xavier and Angel, for those who
You don't want to eat on
here.
camera?
Nah. I gotta go wait.
There's hella ladies watching right now. They're gonna be judging. They're gonna be judging the way you're eating.
He's not shy. He's not a shy one.
No, don't even worry. He eats on stream,
I
and
eat
he
on stream
cannot
all the
be
time. I'm
worse.
fucking with you.
He cannot be worse. How you guys doing?
We're blessed. We're blessed. You know, we're taking it all in. We just came down from the mountain yesterday. We were assigned to the Eden Fire. Our division, you know, was meeting up with other crews, doing some hand line. The dozer only goes so far. You know, our job is really to kind of get in the cracks and crevices where the dozer can go. And when we get out there, we work as a team. You know, this guy is crazy out in the fires, man. This guy goes crazy. This guy goes crazy. This guy.
So,
Let me ask you, how long you guys been training? Like, when did you get started with the program? It's a relatively new one, right?
Yeah, it's relatively new. I mean, fire camps have been around for a while, but as far as for us, you get sent to a training facility before you're even allowed to come to a fire camp. And the training, honestly, will not prepare you for what it really is. You know, it's only a 2-week program. You probably do a couple sets of push-ups, run a mile or so. But yeah, but it's like,
but does not prepare you
it's
for
nothing
the real
compared
world.
to hiking with a pack on or having to cut line for hours. But yeah, like I said, I mean, you won't be able to really figure out what it's about until you get to a fire camp.
Damn.
Yeah. It's a lengthy process. I think these facilities try to imitate the feeling you get when you're on the mountain. You know, the hike can be miles and miles, and you know, you got to carry this water, and your circumstances are subject to change, you know, depending on the winds and how the fire increases over time, you know, and these places really just cannot imitate that emotion, that feeling you get when you're up there, you know. And
before these fires this week, had you guys fought any fires before, or is this your first?
No, we were just here at the Ventura fire, the mountain fire.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Just recently. So that was our most recent fire. I mean, fire season just passed, so the last couple of fires we have caught has been down south.
I mean, this is kind of crazy to be your first experience.
Yeah. But you know, it feels good to be able to, you know, show the community that we're out there. You know, we're trying to help the community. You know, it's a hard time for everybody. You know, God bless those people that were affected from these fires. You know, coming back and your house is burned down. It's very crazy. You know, it's a very crazy time. But you know, it feels good to be able to help these people in some type of way.
Yeah, we were talking earlier about how I don't think a lot of people know that historically 1/3 of California's firefighting force is made up of incarcerated folks, and I think right now it's like 40-something% because of
we're the backbone of the operation.
How drastic this is. Yeah.
There's a lot of you motherfuckers out here.
It's the backbone of the operation, and you know, Cal Fire is kind of just a cover up for it, you know, and we get out there and we do the hard work, you know. But shout out to those people do work too, you know, but we get the rough and tough end of the stick.
Yeah. Do you guys, like, what do you want people to know about either this program or about just being an incarcerated firefighter in general? Like, is there any, you know, PSA that you want to make? Like, what's something that people probably don't know, considering that a lot of people don't even know that you guys are out here fighting these fires?
I mean, one thing I would want the public to know is just that we're taking advantage of the second chance that we're being given, you know, and this is the opportunity to change our lives, you know, the trajectory of our lives, to be able to get a career once we leave, you know, once we hit the streets. And we're blessed to be in this position, you know, and like you said, a lot of people may not know about it, but we're putting the work in to try to not only better ourselves, but better our communities.
Bro, don't pump it up too much. They're not gonna give you more. They're not gonna give you more money. It's crazy. They get paid $5 a day.
We're out there getting it.
No, I know,
getting it. We're out there getting it.
These fires would be so much larger if they weren't out here. They need to get paid an adequate wage. Right?
Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, we get paid $5, $5.80 an hour.
You're over here like, oh, it's
no,
great.
Not even. We get paid.
I love being in the fire.
$1 an hour. Actually. That was a mistake on my part.
You're gonna get a pay cut after this.
You oversold.
Yeah, we get paid $24 a day. So I mean,
$24 a day.
Let me tell you this.
When we're on a fire.
Talk to me.
Did you guys know that you got the normal, like, the rest of the firefighters, right? They're also in the staging area over there somewhere.
Correct.
Yeah.
So you got that, and they get paid, like, the municipality gets paid, like, I think $98 grand or something. Like, they get paid pretty well. They get good pensions, good benefits. They got unions. So they're in a decent situation. What would you say if I were to tell you that there's also private brigades on top of that?
Yep. Private
Really rich
brigades.
people like Rick Caruso. You know the Grove? You guys know what that is? Yeah, the Grove. It's a mall.
Very aware.
Shopping.
It's lame as fuck. Anyway, he owns the Grove. He's a real estate developer. So we hired private firefighters to protect the Grove. You know how you heard about the Palisades that got burned down? 75% of it's gone, except for Rick Caruso's mall in the middle of the Palisades.
God.
Why? Because he hired a private brigade. Those dudes are making $7,000 a day. to do what you guys are doing. I don't want to. I don't
Money
want
is power.
I don't want the
Money
fucking
is
sheriff
power.
to hear me talking like this.
No, I think
He didn't encourage you to talk this way.
Yeah, $7,000 a day to do basically what you guys are doing.
Wow.
So think about that.
You know, and it's crazy. You know, it's a big pill to swallow. But in this case, the return that we get is our second chance at life. You know, this is a pilot program. You know, a lot of us made decisions before our brain was able to develop, before the age of 25. You know, so I mean, this is our second chance, and this is our second chance to prove it. And you know, at this point, it's a blessing. You know, it's not more about the material, but the growth that we gain from this experience.
I think it's important too to talk about how there are obstacles though after you are released, where you have this training, right? You have this experience. You deserve to have this as a career, but you know, it's still really difficult even with legislation that's been passed to work at expunging records and make it easier to get hired in this career. Like it is still
The reintegration process is a little tricky, you know, and I believe it depends and it varies on the individual, you know, because circumstances are subject to change. But at the end of the day, I believe if you want to change and you want to get out there, it's,
How long you guys got? If you don't mind me asking.
4 months, I'm out.
You got a year and a half left?
4 months, I'm out. 4 months, I'm out.
Okay.
I reside in the San Fernando Valley.
December? Okay.
How much time you have left? 2028.
Damn, there's gonna be a whole new president by then. Don't worry, none of us are making it out. None of us are making it out by 2028.
I taught him what Twitch was.
Oh yeah.
I've been in long enough, I didn't know what it was.
Who here watches Twitch? Anybody?
Is it the gaming one though?
Yeah, the gaming one.
Xbox and stuff?
Yeah,
I watched it a few times.
Yeah, you guys got any favorite content creators like YouTube, Twitch? Kai Cenat? Yeah, I know Kai Cenat. Damn. Look at that, Kai. Pretty boy Fredo.
Kai is that boy, huh? Kai is the boy, huh?
2K basketball.
Oh no, I don't really play any 2K.
Oh, they're asking
you guys
me to
watch
feed
basketball
games.
content creators though? Oh, who do you like in basketball?
They're talking about it. Well, we're talking about Twitch. Some of these guys are familiar. Some of them have been locked up too long, but they one of them asked about Kai Cenat.
Like basketball YouTubers?
No,
They do basketball content.
And they're talking about basketball. Gaming.
Pretty boy Fredo.
Pretty boy Fredo.
Soul Illuminati.
Oh, Soul Illuminati. Yeah, I know Soul.
Have
y'all ever seen like YouTube videos of like a prison in Norway? Look it up.
There's a whole show called The Worst Prisons in the World, right?
Yeah, America has the worst prisons in the world, bar none, straight up. They say like, oh, Russian prisons are bad.
Okay, wait. We don't have the worst in the world, but like the way we treat our people is pretty shitty.
Turkish prisons are bad or whatever, but American prisons are obviously the fucking worst.
It's not the worst, but you know, I could find worse probably.
Yeah, I mean, it's one problem is that I mean, it's good that incarceration rates have gone down, but now they're like, oh shit, we have less people to use as firefighters. So it's now
They dip into the inmate.
Right, because they do rely on you guys so much.
Hey, do you guys think that they know like the trauma that it causes?
What's that?
Like, do you guys think that they know the trauma that causes like?
Bro, I'm not gonna lie, they don't give a shit. It's like,
He's not lying.
They don't give a shit. They don't give a shit when you're out and doing stuff. You know
The reason why I ask is because I mean you heard of the word institutionalized, right?
The what?
Institutionalized. Have you heard that word before?
Institutionalized.
Oh, institutionalized. Yeah.
So now I've only did it for like 12 years, 13 years, but the point is I'm about to go home next month. So you go from the cell to this right here. It's like it's culture shocking. So now I guess like the fire camp, bringing back light to the fire camp, right? It does help you because now you start mingling with the public, with you guys, the civilians, right? Which is I feel foreign with you guys because I feel like I'm part of the prison. That's who I was. That's what they indoctrinated me to be.
Yeah.
That's what they wanted me to be. So now they want you to get out here and then go to a fire camp and then act like if you're a firefighter. And we do get like minimum training, right? So how is it that you do that? How can I become a better civilian, a citizen, coming from prison to this? Like maybe you guys know something about that. Like, that's was my biggest question. How do
I've only been in jail.
You know what I mean? Like,
it was not.
Okay, what's
It was
normal to you guys?
overnight.
What's normal to you guys?
Are you asking like personally how
Right,
you
right.
make that transition?
Right.
I mean,
He asked a serious question and I made jokes. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
No,
It's
no,
a
no.
job.
It's a job.
I think what's key is having support, right?
Right.
So that that transition is easier. I mean,
Right.
you're right. When you spend so long
Right.
in prison and you either are on the path to being institutionalized or you're
Right,
there,
right.
it is hard to transition out, and there is such a lack of support from the state. So I understand. I mean, that's neither of us have been in that situation before, so we can't speak from personal experience. But it's why we are trying to bring attention to this and say, okay, you're somebody who you have firefighting skills now, right? You've been there on the front lines. You've trained for this. How great would it be, and how deserving?
Hasan looks so nervous. I don't know. That guy brought up that he has like a Louis V or something sweater.
Are you of having this as a career after you leave, so you don't have to, struggle with job opportunities because you have a criminal record, and of course we live in a country where that is an obstacle.
That's how I am in public though too.
To
I'm
you
very nervous too.
re-entering into society.
Around a lot of people.
What kind of services do they have inside for when you're about to leave, right? When you're about to get out? Do they have retraining services or anything like that? Like connect you with job providers?
Right. So in camp, it's kind of minimal. They really don't. If it's it seems to me like if it's just Cal Fire, if it's not Cal Fire related, you're just not what they're looking for. They're not going to put much effort into it. Now you do have those individuals that do want to help you, right? But that's more because they're personalized with you and you kind of grow a bond with them over time. But as far as them providing something for us specifically for not Cal Fire, there's really none. So that's the thing.
So California State doesn't have any sort of reintegration program.
California has MCRP program, and thank God for Scott Button, he's trying to integrate his ARC program. So MCRP is the reintegration program from being incarcerated to being on the outside. It's limited, but it's offering you a way to try to deinstitutionalize, but in a sense, it's kind of just keeping you on a leash. Sadly to say, but that's what it is. They do offer some programs, but they're very limited because they're usually private-owned companies.
And they most likely have you do it yourself. Like when you finish parole, they have you do your own parole.
It feels like out of 10, only 3 go. So what about the rest?
I feel like if you had a job coming out, if you had something lined up, kind of like this program, if it was Cal Fire or if it's anything else, you're not going to fuck around. You're not going to want to lose that job. You're not going to want to fuck over. You're not going to fuck around with your parole.
You have something to lose. It's a tie down.
Yeah, that's what is so frustrating about stuff like this is that, I mean, it's just so dispensable, expendable. They just discard you. They're like, all right, fuck off. All right, you did your time. Fuck off.
Just another number. Yeah.
And it's very frustrating.
So you said you kind of do political news on rehabilitation. Since you've been kind of shining the light on some of the dark spaces, have you seen any progress being made or any development within that field?
I mean, yes and no. I feel like people are very resistant. They're very resilient. They don't want to see the humanity of other people, and it's pretty dog eat dog out there. I mean, you know this, right? Obviously, everyone has a fuck you, I want to get mine mentality. So they don't have any time for anybody else. But overall, there are communities out there that obviously guys like Scott, out of the kindness of their heart, people that try to extend a helping hand to those who just need just a little bit of a leg up to be able to reintegrate, to be able to become valuable members of society. There's great examples of that too. There's plenty of convicts that ex-cons that made some of themselves after.
Big blazes.
Yeah, big blazes.
Made it big blazes.
Oh, made it big blazes. Yeah.
I have seen so much news coverage to speak about incarcerated firefighters, and I've seen people sharing stuff. I know it's the first time that they've heard about that, so I think it's even just that first step of
Yeah, of course.
A lot of the guys out here who are
Oh, this part's very wholesome and sweet.
Get in here.
Here's Dan right here.
Talk to him. I just want to say hello to my daughter out there. I haven't seen her in about 11 years.
Oh, he wants to say hi to his daughter. That's so cute.
I want to say hello to my daughter out there. I haven't seen her in about 11 years. And I love you, baby. And hopefully I'll be out soon. And
Yeah, I miss you a lot, and hey, be good out there and get your mom right. Okay?
Aww.
Love you.
He's doing the Lord's work. He's protecting people in California right now, every day. What's your name?
My name is Salvador Soria. I'm out of Tulare County, and I miss everybody.
Nice to meet you. What? How much time you got?
I got about 6 months left.
Oh, hell yeah.
About
Okay.
6 months.
Hey.
Unfortunately, I came back on another term, but and I'm very appreciative.
You didn't do this beforehand. You didn't do the Cal Fire program beforehand.
I've never done it before, but I'm hanging with a crew that's way younger than me, and man, they're all on fire, man. And I'm running with the crowd.
Tell them how old you are, OG. How many push-ups is OG doing?
I'm 53 years old, and
He can probably match
I'm
you
running
out,
with all these 20 and 30-year-olds. So
he's out there, man.
If I could do it, anybody could do it.
He's in the Wild Pete crew, so everybody in this crew is under 25.
Yeah.
Tell him, OG.
Damn.
OG's
That's
under
true,
25
man.
too.
For sure.
In heart.
At heart.
At heart.
I've been walking in circles for many years. So.
Damn.
All right.
I appreciate it very much. And thank you so much, man.
Of course. Nice to meet you, man. Thank you for everything you're doing.
Hey, thank you again.
Keeping the streets safe.
Yeah. Doing my
And
best.
so he was asking like, why do we care? Like how we got involved, and like that's a long story, but
I try to explain to people all the time that are listening that they are closer to where you are, and I am closer to where you are than we are to a guy like Elon Musk or a billionaire or a multi-millionaire, owns multiple condos, properties. Like, obviously sometimes people don't have a good starting position in life, you know what I mean? And they get lost in the system. Like, no one is like truly evil. I mean, okay, there's some motherfuckers who are truly evil. But like, everybody has a story, everybody's a normal human being. Yeah.
A lot of good in people.
I remember
I'm all about maximizing potential,
Breaking that stigma.
and a focus on rehabilitation. These sorts of programs are good for that, especially. Very important for that. Because everybody needs to be busy, bro. That's what it is. You know what I mean? If you're not busy, you're gonna go fucking crazy. Sitting around, looking at the same gray bars all fucking day. So obviously, I think breaking that pattern a little bit for you guys is, I assume, very helpful.
For sure.
Yeah, bro, you have the Luffy scar. You know what that is? One Piece. It's an anime.
always bring
It's a very famous anime, and the main character has the exact same scar that you have. Yeah, probably.
You spoke about like the rogue, like individualism, right? And I think we got to get kind of to like the collective identity or the collective mindset. And you spoke of like the race. And so my question is, how do we like bridge that gap to where we kind of like bring the people more together for that collective identity?
But I think overall, people should recognize that they have the exact same interests in life. Like, that's my principle, at least. I believe that everybody wants a hot meal, a roof over their head, you know what I mean, and a decent job, and maybe to get pussy on the weekends, and watch some fucking anime, play some video games. Yeah. So
shit you can say on Twitch, huh?
Yeah, I can say that. Yeah, you can say whatever you want.
Now you know what Twitch is. So.
But that's what everybody wants.
Yeah, realism.
And I think it's always the limitations of the system that cause people to not be able to achieve that in the most successful way. There is virtually nothing different between any of you guys and someone like myself, except for, like, I'm willing to bet that my beginning point is more affluent, more privileged. You know what I mean? That's it.
Definitely.
Like, I fucked up. I fucked up when I was a kid. I fucked up when I was a young adult. I mean, I got arrested. You know what I mean? Like, but the difference is I had a network to be able to rely on, to fall back to. And if that's taken from underneath you, if you don't have that support system, then some people end up falling through the cracks. You know? What's up, man? What camp are you from? Washington Ridge? Hell yeah. So you guys are from different facilities?
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. There's multiple caps around California.
How you like it down here? Have you toured before? Like, have you done this before? How many times? This is your fourth season. Okay. How old are you?
I'm 26. I'll be 27 next month.
You're about to be 27 next month? Okay. Happy early birthday.
Thank you.
I'm 33. That's crazy. I'm older than all. I'm old as fuck.
27.
You thought it was 27? Thank you. What's your name?
Talib.
Talib?
Yeah.
Hassan. Nice to meet you, Talib.
Nice too.
Yeah. No, he's not. He
Yes,
really
he
thought I was
is.
27. Shut up, Caroline.
You have a salt and pepper beer.
No.
My friend.
He didn't. He thinks that I look 27. Can we just? It's fine. That's what he thought. It's all good.
I have 50 days left.
Oh, you have 50 days left? Nice, nice, nice. Okay, so I feel like a lot of the people here, like a lot of people I talk to, like they have a couple months left, like a year left, 50 days left. It's very it's at the end of their sentence for the most part. Is that a part of the? Is that a byproduct of the?
Not necessarily. Some people, OG that was on camera earlier, he got a couple years left. So it just varies. What it is, it's a percentage drop. It's a percentage drop. The law that Newsom passed no longer have to do the 85% as a violent offender. As you get into these programs, they give you the privilege of dropping a percentage of how much you have to do out of your sentence. So in this case, I was a violent offender, so I go from 85. Without being in these programs, you go to 66, and when you enter the program, you do halftime, so 50%.
Yeah. Are there educational opportunities in there or no? Like, do they?
Yeah, I believe the college that I'm taking right now is called Rising Scholars through Lake Tahoe Community College.
Yeah.
And they provide the opportunity for inmates to gain their, I believe their AA. And I believe their bachelor's in some subjects, not all subjects.
What are the subjects you can get it in?
I'm barely doing college, so I'm in English 101 and counseling, but I believe you can get it in arts and sociology.
You can get it in business, sociology. Now we can get it in anything, basically.
Have you done it or no?
I was taking classes to get my degree in sociology.
Hey. Okay. You got 50 days. What are you gonna do when you get out?
I'm gonna hit up Scott. See what he has to offer me to help me.
Okay.
Either Ventura or working at Hollywood CPR.
Okay. From what I understand, you can get your record expunged to get an EMT certification. That's something that's very helpful, right? I mean, there's obviously need for more emergency service personnel, more firefighters, you know? So, good luck. Yeah. Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing?
That was very stale, man.
I mean, I'm a little autistic, okay? Give me a break.
Slightly.
I'm a little bit. Give me a break, bro. Goddamn.
You want to say hi?
Oh, hell yeah. Let's do it.
Baker and William.
What's going on, Baker? How you doing?
Hasan was just like, good luck out there, buddy. You're going to need it.
Hassan.
Nice to meet you.
Hassan, nice to meet you
Just
guys.
asking like what we're doing, why we're here.
Canyon?
Yes,
All right, where are you guys fighting right now?
I'm at the Eastern Fire right here in Pasadena. Right here, right here.
Oh yeah. How many tours have you done so far? How many seasons?
No, this is my third season.
Third season. Fourth season. Okay. God damn.
Is this the worst that you've ever seen?
I was on American Fire years ago, but yeah.
You like the program?
Program's good. Not enough pay, but the program's good.
That's right.
Yeah, that's why we're here to talk about.
What do you guys get right now? Like $24 a day or something?
Yes, $24
That's crazy.
a day.
So what are the things that you guys are tasked with right now? You're just clearing out?
Yeah, basically like clearing out brush, lemming up, fuel break, doing stuff like that.
One of the harder tasks, right?
A lot of strain on your body.
Yeah.
You know, like I say, it's all too within the mental as well too. Of course, hiking up the mountains, late night cold. It could be like 2 in the morning if a fire flare up. You know, you got to get back out there, jump in. So it's a lot going on.
Right now they're on break, right? They're doing 24 hours off. But when you're back out there, you sleep out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? So they give you like what? Like they give you gear and then they give you like sleeping
This
gear.
pretty much what you got right here, and then you got your Nomex on, your Nomex shirt on.
That's it?
Yeah, that's all.
They don't give you any sleeping gear?
No, not on the mountains. Not on the mountain. So like I say, because you could be out there scraping line all night, you know, whatever it may be, trying to get a fire out. Yeah, so you can be out there dragging
What kind of protective gear do you have? I mean, I can't imagine
for
that
like
you're
a
gonna...
shroud, you know.
Pretty much same gear in Cal Fire is where we have. Pretty much same gear, just in a different color. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah. Is it orange or is it yellow? Right?
Orange.
Is it orange? Yeah.
And then as soon as you guys are done, they escort you.
Yeah, so as soon as we're done, we're gonna go back to the bus, rehab our tools, sharpen them up, be fire ready. Be fire ready for, like, you know, we get called to another fire or whatever it may be.
Why did you decide to join the program 3 years ago or 4 years ago?
I'm gonna be honest. When I first joined it, I just did it for like the time reduction. But once I started doing it, I kind of liked it. But once I get released, I won't do it though, because like I said, it's just too much going on as far as like the breathing and the, you know, as far as the air, different chemicals and stuff like that. And as far as I know, from other captains that I talked to, basically they said like it's just a long-term, you know, health condition. You know, of course, just breathing in all the different chemicals.
You guys get any medical after? Like any medical attention?
No. They asked us, do we need like, you know, of course, like if anybody got hurt, anybody get injured, any medical conditions. But you know, if it ain't really like, you know, for like you got really hurt on the fire line, sprained ankle, none of that type of stuff, you kind of just like go back to, you know, working the next day. Like you say, the 24-hour down, 24-hour up. But you're not really getting a full 24-hour down. You know, you're gonna get the 24-hour on the line, fighting the fire, but you're not getting a full 24-hour down. You gotta come back, you gotta shower, you gotta go to eat, you know, you gotta go to get lunches, you know.
It's also a lot of noise, a lot of activity.
A lot of stuff going. They got to go to briefing, you know, get the assignment, you know. So it's a lot that's going on.
Are you guys staying in these tents?
Yeah, we're staying in these tents.
Are they nice?
Yeah, they're pretty nice.
Are they better than prison?
Yeah, absolutely better.
God damn, prison sucks.
You know they go back to a camp after this.
Yeah, we go back to the camp.
Yeah,
so we don't go back to prison. So we left the prison yard. So we go back to camp. So our camps be like, you know, maybe staging. I mean, our camps in like Palmdale. So
Palermo, California, actually.
So I want to ask you why you joined the program.
I did it 14 years ago. When I came back last year, my points was low, and I said, instead of going to the yard, I said, send me to camp. So yeah, I was Carlsberg 12 years ago. I was at Carlsberg fire camp 12 years ago.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I came back to jail. Instead of going to a regular prison yard, I said, send me to camp.
Are you wanting to pursue firefighting like when you're released
I'm 56
again?
years old. I'm 56. I'm still doing it with the youngsters.
It's a lot.
Yeah, but I still, you know, for my age, I still get up that mountain. So I wouldn't mind doing it. And they say California don't have an age limit. So, you know, it's up in the air right now with me.
How much time we got?
I go on March 15th.
I go home in July.
Okay.
Yeah, so
what's the first thing you do when you get out?
Drink a beer.
That's what I'm talking about.
What kind of beer?
Modelo.
Hey.
There you go.
Modelo.
What about you?
See my grandmother.
She in California?
Yeah, she in California. So I'm gonna see her because I just did. Right now I'm putting like 10 and a half years. So I've been incarcerated 10 and a half years. So and I go home in July.
How old are you?
32.
You're 32?
Yeah, came in at 21.
You look young as hell.
Came in at 21.
I'm 33. You look way younger than me.
He's looking for another person to tell him that he looks.
Okay, stop. Thanks a lot for sharing your story, guys.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
It's a video game platform. Normally, it's a video game streaming platform. People play video games, and then people can watch it. It's like YouTube, but live. Okay. Basically. Thank you.
So you mean to tell me that I can get paid for playing Fallout?
Yeah, you like Fallout? Wait, hold up. What's your name?
I'm Sean Armstrong.
Sean Armstrong? Hassan, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
You fuck with Fallout?
I do.
Wait, so when did you get in?
This is my 13th year.
This is your 13th year?
Yeah.
Damn, so you played like Fallout 1.
I played 3 in New Vegas.
You played New Vegas? I know the guy who made New Vegas.
Never.
Yeah, he might see this. Yeah, it's a good game.
It is.
Yeah.
Nah, they just got PS4s at the camp, so I've been playing on 4.
Oh, hell yeah. That's cool. So, you guys stay here during the duration of the firefighting, and then you go back to camp.
Yes, sir.
Right? So, for the rest of your sentence, you're at camp? Is that how that works?
Unless we get in trouble, yes.
Okay.
Good.
And the camp is like much nicer than prison.
Yeah, there's little to no tension. The racial disputes is not a thing there. You know, your family gets to bring food to you from the street.
That's
you can
it.
eat there visiting. It's nice.
You feel like a human.
Yeah, you got real weights
Definitely.
here.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Or they got fake weights in prison?
No, they ain't got no weights.
No weights.
They don't have weights in prison?
No, Arnold Schwarzenegger took him out.
He took him out?
Yeah.
Why did he do that?
I don't know.
He didn't want nobody else to be brolic like him.
I heard that's what it was.
Yeah, he got jealous. How long you got?
I got a year left.
Okay.
This is actually my last year. I get out around December.
What are you going to do when you get out?
First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to work as a stagehand. I was thinking about getting an electrician class, like a 10-month course at SJC.
What about you? How much time you got?
I got about 2.5 years left.
2.5 years left? All right.
What do you, I don't know. I mean, honestly, man, this place took off like 14 months of my sentence. Like, man, from going from 80 to 50, or 66 to 50, it took off 14 months, and that was cool.
Yeah, it took 22 off mine.
Let me ask you something. Do you feel like it's the pay, or is the fact that you get training and you get to do something, or is it the fact that you get shaved time off your sentence, or out of all of these 4 things that I'm about to mention, which one is the most important for you? Which one's the best thing for you? The fact that you stay at camp, where it's like obviously a much more humane situation than like being in prison. Out of all of those factors, which one do you think is the most impactful?
What I would choose myself, I would rather do 2 to 5 years at camp than, 2 to 5 years in Jamestown. I do 1 year at Jamestown. I'd rather do twice that. Whatever I'm doing at camp, I would take that over anything. The pay's cool. It helps pay off the restitution. It makes you feel like you're earning a little dollar.
Yeah.
But that's not. And we're getting they're upping the pay on stuff. From last time I was in camp, it was like your grade pay was like half of what it is now.
Damn.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. It's still crazy. $25 is unacceptable.
It's not. But it's
those wages are ridiculous.
The time it's a hard one between the time, man. But I had to just being at camp itself. I'm learning self-discipline. You're teaching yourself how to work hard. To get up there and to go up there and cut for 5, 6, 7 hours, you're like sitting there. You're whooped. You've ran a whole Domar of gas, and you're just like, I gotta go hike up this mountain now. And it's a mind thing.
Bro, these guys would be working out all day. Firefighting, that's crazy.
Train yourself. I'm gonna tell you, this is the hardest work I've ever done, and I've worked my whole life. Remodeled log homes. A lot of construction, handyman.
Where are you from originally?
I'm from Tulare County.
What about you? Where are you from?
From Bakersfield.
Oh, you're from Bakersfield. Okay.
If you got a good attitude about this place, man, and regardless, everybody comes from a different walk of life. This is a place where we can all come and agree on, we're gonna go work hard today, and we're all on the line. You're all brothers. You're all got each other's backs, no matter what race, ethnicity.
He was saying that Scott is bringing in. He got Coachella to donate some mobile showers for these guys because they haven't been able to shower in 5 days.
Yeah, they just barely showed up today. The mobile showers just got here today.
Yeah.
It was a situation that they had told us. Somebody on the Cal Fire said that they don't want no inmates using their showers. That's why we had to walk all the way around, and then we just got turned around when we was just finna go shower. We still ain't showered yet.
Oh, in that one shower unit way over there?
Yeah.
Wow.
They took our unit. Remember, it was right here.
Yeah, they took our unit and then told us that they don't want no inmates in their showers, so we still haven't showered yet. So
those guys messed up.
Coachella to donate us our own mobile shower unit. That way we don't have to go through this. I'm off of 24 just from yesterday, still ain't showered or been to sleep today.
How long have you been in and out? How long have you been going in to fight?
24 up, 24 down. So just like yesterday, we spent the whole 24 hours on the fire line. We're supposed to have 24 hours of rest today. We'll be back tomorrow, 24 hours, and it just rotates like that.
We usually, because this is a Fed fire now. Remember, it's a state fire. We'll do a completely different cut. We'll do a way more bigger cut. We'll do a 10-foot cut with a 4-foot scrape. But these guys, they have us doing a smaller one right now. They just have us doing a 6-foot cut with a 2-foot scrape.
Yeah, so yesterday we went in with an 8-foot cut and a 4-foot scrape.
Yeah.
It depends on which fire you're at and where you're at.
They had us trenching the whole way up. The whole way. And I'm second Pulaski. Yeah. I'm swinging my arms all day. Oh, man.
I'm on the saw, bro, and I've never cut that much in my life, bro.
So you got weights, you don't got a PS4, but you got a TV?
Yeah, we got TV.
Do you guys get internet access or no? No internet access.
They don't want us to have that.
Why not?
I don't know. Well, we're still incarcerated people, so we can't we're limited.
You're still a person?
Tell me about it.
It's a human right.
Yeah.
I think you should be able to get internet access.
For sure.
What are you gonna do with internet access? Crimes?
We gotta get you to our camp, Groundsburg.
I'm down. Yeah,
MTV Cribs. Coming soon.
No, I would love to do that for sure. I'll talk to Scott. If we can make something like that happen, that would be great. Because I know phone calls are I don't know how it is in California.
It's free now.
Yeah, it used to be a big ass fucking problem.
It used to be a lot.
That shit was awful.
So the phone calls are free now. So everyone that left, come back. I could call you now.
Wait, tell them what it used to be like.
So it used to be a lot, like 33 cents a minute. 33 cents a minute.
33 cents a minute.
$100 a day. Like only 15-minute phone call. We just spend like $100 a week.
Yeah.
So that's why we're all single now. Am I right? Oh no, just me. Just me.
Wait, okay, so why is that important? Why is it important that you have access to the outside world like that?
We're not trying to get institutionalized. We're not trying to get stuck in here because we're still people, like you said.
Yeah.
We're still people, and we're still trying to strive, and we're still trying to grow and get out of what we're in. Whenever I come home, I'm able to talk to my family. Not only does it motivate me, but it keeps me updated with the streets. Hey, this is going on, crypto. Hey, you need to get your bank account up. You need to all these information they're giving me that he can't give me because he didn't experience that, or he didn't experience that.
crypto, don't do crypto, bro. You're gonna lose all your money.
You'll see.
Oh my God, bro. Don't do it. I promise. Don't do it. It's not a good idea.
All right, you guys put me up on game on that thing.
Okay, yeah. Don't fuck that. Oh my God. No. No.
So what would you suggest to get into?
No, don't gamble, bro. Don't gamble. No, what I would suggest is you know, trying to get a decent wage job. There's a lot of people who don't go to prison who are also lose a shit ton of money.
Yeah, bro. I don't know about crypto. I don't know, bro. I don't know. Dusty Smith is still in my head convincing me about it. I'm like thinking about it, and it's like, it mostly is a scam. Like all other cryptos are like crypto, the coin, like the actual, like Bitcoin might not be, but every other one is a fucking scam, maybe, you know.
Oh, and gambling and all this stuff, it's bad.
We see, so without connection to the world, I wouldn't know this. So now I'm just thinking I'm going right into crypto, but look, we need more connection with the world now.
No, you need less connection with the world. You're trying to make crypto puts, you're trying to make calls.
I heard you be gaming. What's your favorite game?
I game right now. I'm playing Marvel Rivals a lot, but it's new. It's a new game. As far as like of all time, Metal Gear Solid. What do you play? You play any games?
Super Smash Bros. And Fortnite.
Okay. Oh, you play Fortnite? Nice.
They have a PS4.
No, I know. Yeah, I suck at Fortnite. You beat my ass. You got a lot more time to play Fortnite than I do.
Well, at our camp we don't have internet, so like we play. Like right now I'm playing Dream Hunter. I'm playing Monster Hunter Ice World Reborn.
Oh, there's a lot of good single player games out there though.
That's a real good game.
How does that work? Can people just like buy you guys games or no?
I think so. We can get games sent in. I think we can.
Okay.
As long as they're pre-approved by our lieutenant.
Wait, what? Oh, so the lieutenant's like, this is too violent. Like,
I mean, we have Mortal Kombat. We have.
Oh, okay, then never mind. Yeah, that's not a problem. So Washington Ridge Camp, right?
Yes.
All right, there you go. You can send in video games to Washington Ridge Camp. How do they do it? Is there like a Department of Corrections website portal, something like that? Lieutenant Hanks.
This is Lieutenant
Hassan.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I can't say nothing about it.
How do we send these guys video games? There's a lot of people watching right now.
How do we send these guys video games?
Yeah.
Video games are a challenge because I can't give them access to the internet without it being supervised.
Yeah, no, I meant like hard copies.
You donate them to the camp, so you send it to the address of the camp, and you state that you wish to donate it for camp, and then we'll include it in the systems we have.
Hell yeah.
Does it have to be like a maturity level restricted?
Yes, it has to be maturity level restricted, and it can't have an online component to it.
They'll send you guys some hard copies of video games. Hey, nice to meet you guys.
Hi guys.
I just want to say what's up to my wife, to my son. I do this for you guys.
Hey.
Thank you to the program, you know, got me a lot of time off. Chat, you know what's up, man. Get this to my wife, man.
Hey.
Yeah, let's do a photo.
This is our first shower in a whole week. Just let them know we've been out here for a week.
Let's go.
It's our first shower, bro. About
You guys
time.
get a
Thank you guys. It's because of y'all. Y'all fucking
How do you feel? How do you feel?
That was fantastic.
I want
That was amazing.
I want you to talk about the fundraiser. ARC is doing a fundraiser for these guys after they get out. We're thinking of funds.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things that we need. Everyone wants to give right now that they're on the fire line.
Yeah.
There's not so much to give right now, right? They're fairly good right now. It's when they get back to camp, right? There's not a TV that's working in some places, right? There's the boots are all fucked up and they need better boots. Like there's just things that are not so sexy, but that they need. You never think this, but we're getting a shower truck dropped off.
No, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. By the way,
you
God
had to
bless.
reach out to Coachella.
God bless the dudes at Coachella.
Dude.
They got a shower truck coming in. These guys haven't showered in like 4 days.
I know.
So just stuff like that. And then I think also when they get out, if they want to work for CAL FIRE, as soon as they get out, how are they going to pay rent to wherever they're getting hired? How are they going to pay utilities? What about a car to get to and from work? Right? Those sort of things. So we're setting up a scholarship fund to help them when they get out.
The conversations that I was having with all these guys is they kept being like, I don't mean this the wrong way, but like, why do you guys care?
Why are you here?
Yeah,
They keep
why are
saying,
you
like,
here?
why do you care
what are you
about
guys
us?
doing here? Why do you care about us?
Isn't that sad? They don't think people care.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
that
I
is,
think-
See a night like
that is really fucking sad, dude.
tonight.
I know, and I think right now, you know, with disasters like this, it's a huge moment to raise awareness, right? Because people are like, okay, I want to help. I want to feel collective action. I want to be in solidarity. And it's like, let this moment radicalize you in a good way, right? Don't fall prey to like misinformation, to individualism. Let this, you know.
It's like, to me, it's like the misinformation piece of it, and just like people like using this for like political hits and shit like that. When like you guys are showing up and like showing love and being here for these guys, and other people just want to use it.
But that is radical. Like that for a lot of people, that is, you know, radical empathy. It's like, radical sounds so intense, right? It's like an intense word, but it is truly seeing these people as human beings, right?
There's fundamentally no difference between any of the dudes I just met today and myself, with the most important exception. I come from a more affluent background.
Yep.
And therefore, when I fucked up, I had a support network to rely on.
Yeah,
I had my family that could set me straight. And I try to explain to other people that, like, these guys are, maybe some of them did some stuff that you would consider to be ridiculous or crazy or whatever, but it doesn't matter. Like, everyone has the capacity to rehabilitate.
Yeah.
Everyone has the capacity to become a better, more productive member of society.
And that's what these guys are doing, right?
Yeah.
Like the thing I love the most about this is you go from like the pariah of the community.
Yeah.
Like, we want to separate you because you're too dangerous and get out of our community. And now all of a sudden you're a first responder. You're a hero. People are baking you brownies and cookies because you're going up in a mountain and fighting a fire so it doesn't kill our entire community.
I think it's that's another thing I want to do if we can do this, because they were talking about like going back to camp.
Yeah.
If we could potentially film the camp at some point.
No, we go. As soon as they're back, let's go.
Okay, that's a great idea. I want to do that 100%.
Hey.
Because I think from what I see, this is like one of the closest aspects to a more rehabilitative approach.
Yeah.
In like the American carceral structure.
100%.
Because like one of the things that everybody talked about, and across age groups from different camps, everyone was like, there's no racialized, like there's no race stuff. Everyone is the same. Nobody rocks the boat, because you get all of these positive incentives of sentence reduction, but more importantly than that, the conditions in the camp are significantly better than prison.
Significantly.
And by the way, that doesn't mean it's actually like better than your living conditions at home.
Yeah, those guys couldn't shower for 5 days.
They also don't have internet. They don't have internet access unless it's supervised. But I think that plays a major role in people feeling like human beings, and it helps with reintegration in general.
I was on your live stream as you were driving, and I saw other people commenting about modern day slavery. And I'll say this, it's like, I'm running like a massive campaign right now with Governor Newsom and others, trying to get him to raise the pay, because I agree that the pay, it's been $1 an hour since 1984, right? That's unacceptable. So there was an actual legislative proposal this year to go from $1 an hour to $5 an hour, and it got killed. So this year I want to accomplish that, but like, no one's forced to be here, right? This is voluntary, and it's now. 5 years ago, there was no path to a career. You risked your life, you got paid nothing, you got out, and it's like, no, we won't hire you. Now there's a path to a $100,000 a year job. And I tell these guys, like, who cares what you get paid? Volunteer to get out of a prison cell, save people's life, make amends, redeem yourself for the shit you've done. Even if you're volunteering, you get paid nothing. And I'm going to do everything I can to make sure you have a career where you can make $100,000, $150,000, $200,000 so your kids never have to go through what you went through, and then go to a great private school and a great college. The budget process starts now in January. The governor released his budget this week. And then they close the budget in June, and it becomes a state budget. So between now and June is when he will either force his Department of Finance to do it or not do it. And the governor was here tonight.
I'll sing his praises if he does.
He, I'll tell you this, like, he really, in terms of fire stuff, he's done incredible. No governor in the last 30, 40 years has doubled CAL FIRE's budget. $2 billion when he came in, $4 billion now. 7,000 firefighters there, 14,000 now. Like, he's doing it.
Thank you so much for everything. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to talk to these guys.
How were the combos?
Fantastic.
So good.
Amazing. I would love to do more stuff with you on specifically this
Let's do
issue. Because this is something that I think is unfortunately an area where a lot of people just don't ever even encounter, like, don't even broach the subject matter with like any dignity whatsoever. Everybody just writes off prisoners. They don't ever talk about them. They don't ever think about them. They don't want to reduce sentences. They want to make sure that people stay in prison for as long as possible without ever thinking about it. And I think showing the camp conditions specifically as juxtaposed with like what county jail looks like, what prison looks like, and how much that helps people feel human, and how successful that is in terms of like rehabilitating people and allowing that integration to happen is really huge. This is a major aspect.
Wait till you see the camp. You'll really enjoy it. And yeah, we'll go there. We'll shoot it. It'll be great. Thank you guys for coming and shining a light.
Hey.
Thank you. Absolutely.
That was awesome, bro.
Blown away.
Yeah.
My house is burnt down.
Yeah.
Hopefully not. All right, everybody.
Let's check
this was a
out-
wonderful experience overall. Thank you so much, Caroline. Thank you, Scott Budnick, as always. Thank you, Marat, for showing up as well. You know.
The leftist mafia. There was a video. Fuck. There was a specific video. This one right here.
So I know that this is she's white.
I think it is pretty amazing that Bill Burr went on Jimmy Kimmel, and effectively, I thought he was talking about Joe Rogan, but he could have been talking about TYT. He was basically just calling out everyone who's been blaming the LA wildfires on the homeless,
Yup.
which is just the most ridiculous thing. Like the poorest people in society who don't even have a friend's couch to sleep on are the ones you have to be mad at. And then I was like, well, Joe Rogan is Joe Rogan. He's going to Joe Rogan. But then, Ariana shared another clip with us when it turns out that he's not the only one saying that. Hi, Rebecca.
Hi,
Hi.
Rebecca.
Hi, guys.
Well, the interesting part about that is that, so the argument is that the homeless are starting the fires because they start fires when they want to do whatever drug they fancy.
I don't understand how stupid how fucking stupid is that argument?
Right?
what,
That's just
by
like the
that
dumbest
logic-
argument ever.
By that logic, smokers are starting the fires because they light cigarettes outside. Like, what the
Throw
fuck is the
cigarette butts
logic here?
everywhere. Yeah.
Only
Like,
meth can
it's
start
just like-
fires, David. It has to be meth fire. It's meth fire.
It's not that they're keeping themselves warm or cooking. It's that they're doing
No.
drugs. They're evil. They're
And
bad people.
that's why the entire world's on fire, because these people exist everywhere. People lighting things outside exist all over the fucking planet. No, specifically, there's an issue with there's a part of the world that is super dry for a very fucking long time, and then high winds pick up. Like it's not what sparked the fire. It's why did it keep spreading so quickly and so fast and for so far. Like that's the problem here. It's not whether it's a power line or arson or whatever. It's why did it spread like it spread.
Hey, Mike, if you see this video or live stream, invite me, the leftist mafia. I would love to be a guest someday. I'm a small, tiny fetus leftist Cuban YouTube channel.
That's the issue. And that issue is climate change. And that issue
I was
is
about
like
to say,
so much bigger than what they're discussing.
It's very much
I'll bring this clip up.
I just sent it in the private chat, so it should be right there.
Yeah, I mean, what's sad is that people aren't linking these extreme events to climate change when they should. And this is a failure on media, especially progressive media.
Why blame climate change when you can blame the homeless?
And the mayor.
Bro, it's snowing so much.
Look, guys, PG&E has been the cause of most amount of fires that we have tracked. Okay, that doesn't mean they're the only source of fires. And unfortunately, homeless folks who are almost always the fire started by someone who's hooked on drugs. They're starting it for the drugs because you cook some of the drugs. Has that been a major source of fire here in LA over the last half a decade to a decade?
That's so
Absolutely.
stupid, bro. That's the dumbest thing. They're basically saying all the forest fires are because of homeless people cooking drugs in the middle of the forest. Like, no, dude. It's obviously like fucking a power line that fell or something, and then it caught fire, and then the winds was really high because there was 100-mile-an-hour winds, and that fucked everything up.
It's not true. It's just literally indisputably lying to you. And I guess the reason they would lie to you is, oh, we want to protect our unhoused neighbors, so let's cover up the fact that they're starting fires to get high. So, but remember, not all homeless people are the same. That's the minority of homeless people. We're not trying to be, say anything disparaging about homeless people. We're just telling you a reality.
Oh,
and you
you're
covering it
not?
up doesn't
Okay,
help
great.
at all. So, look, guys.
That was the end of it.
love that.
Oh my God, I can't believe that this was what you guys got me coming into. I didn't even know this was a thing.
It's just
Who
so
needs
fucking
Fox
stupid.
News when you have TYT?
Yeah, I know. Who needs Breitbart? Who needs Newsweek? Who needs Newsmax? It's right there.
He really
Yup.
blamed the people. He said that people are starting. Let me get this straight. I just want to get it straight.
That's what he said, Rebecca.
Fucking hate homeless people. Anyways, go on. All the time, that one day buying one.
The plot thickens, so they're not just.
Yeah,
Sorry,
the plot
go ahead,
thickens.
Ariana.
No, that's
in the
Republican
chat.
final boss. But before you go, I just want to say something really quick. So you guys know I worked at a wildfire safety operations center.
Right.
On 4th of July, I had to work a 16-hour shift up until probably 4 a.m. because everyone was buying illegal fireworks and setting it off, and it was causing all these brush fires everywhere. I had to log over 300 to 400 fires just that one day. And it's so obvious that they hate the homeless, because if you actually look, like, regular people start fires all the time. You can throw a cigarette out the window.
Yeah, yo, like TYT is like some NIMBY shit now. They're on some not in my backyard type shit. They hate homeless people. They hate public housing. They never talk about any solutions on how to fix the homeless problem. They just hate them.
Get fireworks on 4th of July. It's the worst day, especially in California, because we have so many brush fires, but it's just so obvious that they just fucking hate homeless people. Anyways, go on.
No, I agree with you, Ariana.
Here's the Newsweek piece.
Methodics described as satanic could be starting some of Los Angeles fires on purpose out of pure nihilism, a journalist told Tucker Carlson. January
Out of pure nihilism.
So it's not just that
Everything
they're
burns.
unhoused and doing drugs. They're unhoused and doing drugs and worshiping the devil. I mean,
They have to
God
add that
damn.
part in because they're all Christian, nationalists.
Oh, they're actual Christians. The good.
Yeah.
Michael Schellenberg is one of the guys who Elon Musk gave the Twitter files to, if you'll recall.
Oh, cool.
Oh, okay. So it was in good hands, is what you're telling me.
I mean, the important part is if you scroll a little past why it matters, you'll see one very distinct line that directly refutes all of this nonsense, which is that what to know. Right in that second paragraph, it says he then claims half of all fires in LA are started by homeless people. That claim does not appear to be substantiated by any hard evidence. I mean, right there, that line alone should have you suddenly being like, oh shit, well, maybe we shouldn't report on this and push this narrative, because it's really going to vilify homeless people at a time when there's lots of angry people in LA looking for someone to blame.
It's crazy because he's shifting the focus off of even talking about any type of climate change, like climate change solution or whatever. And now he's the stigma against homeless people already, and now he's shifting that focus to the criminalization of homeless people and the fear that people already have.
Yep.
All of that, I don't like it, and
I don't like
not
that shit
I don't
either,
like
bro.
It matters, but this is just absolutely ridiculous that people are. Yes, it's very dangerous, and people are still focusing on this type of nonsense, and
They're just sowing misinformation. Like, TYT is done, guys. TYT is literally dead, and Ben Dixon said that, and he is right. TYT is literally dead. But I think I'm gonna end the stream there, guys. I might stream. Maybe I'll stream tomorrow. I might do another stream tomorrow. Maybe we'll stream about like Elon Musk, the biggest dork in the world, cheating in video games, and more stuff like that. No, you know what? No. Let's keep going. There's something else. There's something else here I want to show you guys.
They're rolling this out. It has to be for entertainment at this point, which that's not.
Check this out, Hasan.
Again,
Hasan goes on O'Brien, This dude, Sean O'Brien, the Teamsters leader, president, and he talks about how TYT was striking the union.
Taken, was supposed to give him money or in some shape or form pay him, and he just didn't. And so if he's going to do that to his own family, what do you think is going to stop him from doing that with Pastor Ben? And also, I feel like Pastor Ben has a lot more to lose to come out and publicly post his contracts and call them out rather than someone like Anna. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is this got me angry because I'm like, if this is my uncle, I'm freaking the fuck out.
Right?
But I started working with my uncle, and look, I think it might be a little Turkish of him to do this, but he definitely let's just say he definitely took advantage of the fact that I was his nephew in terms of, the pay structure that I worked
So you
under.
definitely needed a union with a relative.
Oh, 100%.
No doubt.
Exactly. They actually did unionize the producers, but that was after I had left. But there was definitely a little bit of issues there as well, and I think that was my third final radicalizing moment. I guess was I had this IP, this intellectual property of the show that I built out of for free that I did because I wanted to do it on the side. It's something I wanted, and I knew they were not gonna. Originally, they were not going to let me do it unless I do it for free, which is, kind of lame.
And this is your uncle's company.
Yeah, it's my uncle's company. So I'm just I want to help. I want to be beneficial, and I also want to do this thing. I'll just do it. I'll just do the extra work for free on the side and maintain this thing so that I can prove that it's good. And so I did that. But it blew up. It got very popular. And instead of giving me additional funds to be here, let's build out the show more, let's give you a writer, because I did this in the supply closet, basically. I put a green screen up there, and I started filming myself. They were like, oh, yeah, we're going to take this IP, and we're going to give it to all the other hosts so we can, make more of the same type of videos without spending any extra money. And that's when I was like, damn, I have no ownership over this. I have no control over my hours. I have no control over this IP, this thing that I created, right? This thing that I put a lot of thought and effort into, and I did for basically free. I don't control it.
To create something yourself, do it on the side, do it not because you're being paid to do it, but because you have the passion to do it, and then have someone else fucking steal it.
That's fucked up, bro.
Nothing, as a creative person, nothing is more frustrating than having to deal with shit like that. That is just, I could totally. It's a good thing he went off on his own because he's doing way better than that entire network is, in their entirety.
So, yeah, good job,
what
Hasan.
He's saying there, I just gotta say, it validates what Hank Thompson said about the union. For those who don't know, it's Winners and Losers on YouTube. Hank Thompson is a former TYT producer who was part of the effort to form the union, and he goes through painstaking detail about the way that Cenk basically gaslighted everybody, denied the union, tried to bust the union, hired a union-busting law firm. And if you watch the documentary, it is crystal clear that that's what Cenk did. But when he was confronted about it, a caller, we played the clip a couple of weeks ago, a caller said that Cenk was a union buster, confronted him about it, and Cenk denied it. When it's factual, yes, they have a union now, but Cenk fought the union. You're a union buster if you do that. So he has been caught in a lie multiple times. So that's why when Ben says something, I believe Ben over Cenk. Even if Ben didn't bring the receipts, I would believe him, right? Cenk has no fucking credibility anymore because he's been caught lying, and he refuses to ever admit that he's wrong because he has an ego. So it's so sad because clearly, I thought that at first when this started to happen during the birthing person bonus hole saga, I was like, okay, I'm not 100% sure that this is a grift. Maybe it's genuine. And then it started to become clear. It's like, okay, they're really positioning themselves in a certain way. But you go to their YouTube channel, I don't know if this is actually a grift. It seems maybe genuine because they are not benefiting from this.
I don't think it's a grift. It's genuine. It's hurting them. They've talked about how or at least Cenk's talked about how they've lost subscribers. They've lost money for sure.
Right.
So it's not. If it was a grift, to be, they would be doing this for money.
You
They're
make
not,
that money back up with the poly market.
I mean, the poly market, I'm sure, is helping.
Yeah.
But I think you
For
get
real.
that anyways. Like they're not.
I feel like they might make up that money back, like with some more billionaire support. Like if they get to talk to Elon Musk or something, and dude, they're gonna suck their dick. They're gonna suck Elon's dick. Like, oh my god, they're gonna get the money somehow, dude. They're gonna find some billionaire asshole. Like I think that's what they're aiming for. I don't think they care about the audience, honestly.
And that because of their positions, they just get that because that if you're willing to do any sponsorship, then you'll take shit like that. Like
I was looking at Polymarket Studios today. You can gamble on the LA wildfires. You can gamble on the ceasefire of the genocide of Palestinians. You can put money on that if that's something you ethically want to gamble on, about whether or not more.
Somebody on Twitter said
if ceasefire will be reached.
Someone on Twitter said if you're gambling on wildfires, then it's time to check into an institution, like get some help for your fucking betting because you got a problem.
For real.
Also, I totally forgot that the TYT connection with Poly Market, because I want to say, he was talking before about this whole thing started because of that clip with him talking about baselessly claiming homeless people are partially responsible for the fires. Let me just say this: if there is an option to bet on wildfires, you don't think eventually there's going to be someone who goes out, makes a bet, and then sees through to make sure that bet comes true and will bet on wildfires?
That's so stupid.
Like that should be illegal to do. Yeah, I bet there's gonna be a wildfire in such and such at this,
You got something there, Matt.
And then he runs out and does it. I mean, you know what I mean? Like,
People will
desperate.
Like, I'm
People will
joking,
be
but
desperate
also
things.
I'm joking because it's so friggin' hilarious that it so obviously could be a really true thing that could happen.
Absolutely.
Right.
should
Does
not be able to bet
Netanyahu
on
have any money
wildfires.
tied up in the ceasefire? I mean, on Poly Market, like that is. I never thought about that. That's a great point. Wow, that's evil. That's really fucking evil.
People are evil, just like
Yeah,
Jank
for real.
and Anna. I don't know how
you think
Fuck Jank and Anna.
for them.
Think that Yahoo's placing any Poly Market bets before signing on to that ceasefire agreement? I mean, you know what I mean? Like all this stuff is. All these things you could bet on Poly Market, there are people out there who can actually rig whatever it is that they're betting on to make it happen so they make money.
Elon Musk has his own section on Poly Market, and based on what he's going to tweet, like that's pretty easily manipulatable if you own a lot of cryptocurrency, as he does. So
wow,
yeah.
I'll tell you
have
this
no
much:
words.
you'll know about the official TYT becoming a right wing show officially when it shows up as something you could bet on Poly Market.
Damn.
Listen, we should throw this out there, okay? As the leftist mafia, we offer to buy TYT. We are willing to put $1,000 on the table to buy TYT. $1,000.
It's definitely worth $1,000.
It's worth $1,000. We could transform it, turn it around, make it progressive again, make it the actual home of progressives. I'd pay $1,000.
It's worth $1,000
for TYT, collectively, of course. Just something to chew on, Jenk.
I feel bad for people like John, who he's been there for 20 years or something, and he hasn't changed. He's still solid.
He's such a great person.
He should be the host.
Rashad
you know what I mean?
They will never.
J.R. Jackson. Steve
J.R. is fantastic.
The producers behind the scenes are.
They won't give space
people.
to them. They won't. They won't give the space.
Right. It is sad because it's like I don't want them to go down. I want them to get better. Like the people that work there are so good. They genuinely believe in this. It's sad. It's genuinely sad, but very clearly they're not going to budge. I think that by now, after seeing all of this criticism, if they were going to be introspective, I think that they would have done so a long time ago. But they're very clearly down this path, and inertia.
It's giving them. It sucks because the internet, they'll say they'll cancel you, they'll do all this. Now, canceling equals the more people will go just to see what these people are saying, and that's a coin for Anna and Jank. They're not. Some people are just going to hate watch. That's a coin for Anna and Jank. It's
but their views are terrible. Like it's not.
Yeah, I don't even know if they're hate watching
it's not like it
anymore.
used to be at all. But then they have all these whack ass sponsors, like the one. Like I can't believe that they own. Like they have to announce that what is it, the poly such and such that they're
filming live from Poly Market Studios.
Yeah,
Filming
they
live
have
from
to
Poly
announce
Market
that,
Studios.
you know, in the beginning, and you would think they're
Bro, I
about
want to find that clip. I need that as a sound drop. I need that as I think the Majority Report has it.
to give you some serious news, and then they go on to, well, Ben said, or leftist
Let me
mafia.
see. The Majority Report. EYT. Poly Market. Let me see.
The FedEx guy for almost 10 years. The two podcasts I listen to every morning were TYT and MR. I don't want to start shit between your programs, but Anna repeatedly downplays Project 2025, stating that all the fear-mongering during his first administration didn't come to pass, not understanding that administration's competence as well as those in his... All right, I'm not going to go through this whole thing, but you mentioned, yeah, now she's against calling Trump a fascist. I did see this. So, you know, I mean, look...
I just thought that was bait, though. Like, no offense, I'll let you get into it, but like, I saw that tweet yesterday, and I was like, "Is this not just like bait? It's not engagement bait."
A trial
Like,
period.
it was just like wrong. Like every point in it was like incorrect about fascism, about like Trump.
Yeah.
So like, it was just some words.
Well, I guess we'll comment on it just because, like, look, I mean, I'm just couching this by saying that, you know, it's not a personal attack. This is one about substance, right? And, you know, Anna in the past has been supportive and a good friend to me, so I feel compelled to say it's not personal, but I do feel like this is dangerous, what I saw yesterday. You know, to downplay Trump's threat to this country right now in this moment, for me, this is not an unaligned or an independent opinion. To me, this is to the right of Nikki Haley voters. This is...
You know, fascist presence in the U.S. and what might happen if he becomes elected.
Okay, gotcha.
And that's where this stemmed from, where they started to talk about fascism.
All right, here we go.
Trump is deeply racist and he says deeply racist things, okay? I want to make a distinction between Donald Trump, the person who says and does racist things, and the notion of a fascist. Because look, if we're just going to use fascist toward anyone we dislike, all right, then the word doesn't actually mean anything.
Okay, what do you want me to say, Anna? You want me to say wannabe dictator?
Sure, you can say wannabe dictator, but I don't even think he wants to be a dictator.
Of course he does. That's what you do when you lose an election.
Get him,
and
Jack.
I got fake electors, and I'd like to terminate the Constitution and bring out the tanks and use martial law against American citizens and shoot protesters. I mean, if that's not fascist, then I guess the word just shouldn't exist.
But was he able to do those things?
Was he able to?
First of all, his entire cabinet had to threaten, not cabinet, administration, his White House team had to say, we're all going to mass resign if you roll out tanks against American citizens.
Okay, so if you think he's a fascist, wouldn't that justify taking physical action against him?
No, because that doesn't help. That devolves us further into fascism.
Whoa, what a straw man. Can you pause it, actually?
There's a difference between somebody...
I guess I didn't see that part, but what, I mean...
If he's a fascist, why aren't you, what is the guy who tried to kill Hitler? Ribbentrop or something like that?
Right.
No,
I
that
mean,
wasn't Ribbentrop. Yeah,
it's a way to continue to delegitimize what Cenk is saying there, and Cenk is absolutely right. I
Yeah.
mean, look, if she wants a definition, fascism's a political ideology that started, it's an outgrowth of Mussolini and Hitler's reigns at the start of the 20th century. You can characterize it as highly militaristic, nationalistic, anti-democratic, a political movement that encourages violence against leftists, against LGBTQ people,
Marginalized groups,
minority groups. Sorry, what'd you say, Brandon?
I said marginalized groups. Yeah, go ahead.
Marginalized groups, right? Or anyone that's opposing you, and you know that can involve like a consolidation of power for the wealthy. I mean, the definitions of fascism are quite well established, but forced deportation, like that's unequivocally what Donald Trump and J.D. Vance are proposing there is unequivocally a fascist policy. So to
it's demographically motivated as well, despite the like National Socialist gloss that they give to it.
I found that fascinating and depressing to see how, okay, he's not a fascist, or when you make these claims, like how that goes too far is basically what her contention is. And then she asked, was he able to do any of those things? And the point is that, like, yeah, he was thwarted, but apparently you're only a fascist if you win.
It doesn't matter if you try to do it and you couldn't do it. Like, if you try to rob a bank and you failed, you're still a fucking bank robber, you dumb bitch ass Anna. Jesus Christ. Like how she's not stupid. She's doing this shit on purpose. She is acting dumb. Emma is right. Anna's wrong, yo. Emma is right though.
More reps at it. Soccer and Teddy make the same point. Like, well, he couldn't really do it, and he didn't really do it. But let's give him 4 more years to try, knowing what he knows.
Right?
Now. Are you fucking stupid?
Yeah. Well, it's such a moving goalpost too, because it goes from like, okay, he's not in favor of those things to like, okay, yes, he is in favor of those things, but he wasn't able to do them. And you see like Republicans whose main role it is to like run interference for Trump, who are more media savvy, play this like Picard all the time. Well, it's like he's just saying those things to trigger lift. He's go, okay, well, we have evidence of him trying to do those things, like actually try to, enact what he says. They go, okay, but he wasn't able to do it. It's like that's. You can't fight with that, because until he does it, then suddenly it's not like there's no provable point. It's the same argument people make about Israel's genocide in Palestine, where it's like
100%.
there are still some Gazans alive, so it can't be genocide. It's like that's not how it works. And I would also just point out, you can read Umberto Eco about fascism, but when you're talking about neo-fascism, or at least fascism that takes place in the aftermath of Nazi Germany, in the aftermath of Italian Mussolini fascism, you have to understand that fascists are able to disguise fascism better because they understand that fascism is simply not popular. There is a reason why even people on the right, when they're accusing socialists of, being anti-liberal or illiberal, use the word fascist, because they know fascism as a political project has been extremely delegitimized due to the
word Nazi, Brandon, right?
Yeah,
like
Nazi.
These right-wingers, so many of these people that are actual Nazis in terms of the core of their ideology, but they won't brand themselves as that in public at the very least.
They'll try to brand Nazis as socialists. They'll be like, oh, they were national socialists, a complete canard, a complete red herring. But, you just have to be aware that neo-fascists nowadays understand that what they are preaching is not popular. And that's why they have to launder it into modern, mainstream political discourse with any number of just like sleights of hand that help them, escape identification. But Trump isn't able to do that. He just says straight up fascist stuff. And then people who are defending him have to try to launder it or disguise it as something different than it is.
Yeah, and I've on Left Reckoning we've talked a lot about the definition of fascism and that sort of thing. And Robert Paxton is another definition of fascism that I think pretty much indicts Trump, and he traces it back to the Klan as like a early form of neo-fascism. Richard Evans is a historian who makes that point about a militaristic society being a difference between the original fascists and now. And I think that sort of taxonomy and academic distinguishing is valuable. But this thing where it's mainly about you're too alarmed is a big problem for me. And I don't think it's well-founded.
And even under that definition, in terms of the militarism, you could make a case for neo-fascism with the level of armaments that like a certain level of our population has. If you wanted to basically say that they could be galvanized into some sort of action against the groups that are being targeted, I think that's a very fair academic perspective on fascism. But yeah, just the claim essentially that it's hysterical to make these accusations or to call him a fascist. Well, I would say that a conversation between Mark Milley and Anna is in order, or with these other Trump administration officials that have said, his former chief of staff, the very same things, where they don't have an incentive to do so in any regard. They're just saying what they heard. We know from Ivana Trump's divorce proceedings that at least she claimed that he had a speech of Hitler's
had the sequel to Mein Kampf is how it was marketed, which is
a book of Hitler's
of Adolf Hitler, and that seems to be. I mean, if she made that detail up, she had a great divorce lawyer, because they probably said like, oh, Mein Kampf is too obvious, go with this. No, I think it's probably because Trump did have a collection of Hitler speeches on his bedside table.
Mein Kampf is too mainstream. He's more of like the Hitler deep cuts.
B-sides.
B-sides.
I could not find the poly market thing, bro.
All right, let's read some IMs. Pokemon Go to Hell. Sam, I'm sure you're going to get a lot of IMs today about Jank. I think if you haven't seen what he had to say about you, you should watch it, but I don't think it needs to be public. TYT seems to be trying to go in a different direction, and criticism should be about their coverage and policy, not about personal disputes. I, yesterday, did see some clips from, I guess, something that happened like on Thanksgiving or whatnot. I got to be honest. I don't really care. The last, any type of communication I had with Cenk was, I think, like in July. And it was in response to like the, I don't know, 4th or 5th, promoting some type of like fundamental mistruth. And we think it's helpful to use that show as an example of whatever. Run your business, do whatever you got to do. I don't care about that shit, honestly.
Live from the Poly Market Studio in LA.
All right, we'll also play that clip, but we got to just the volume is a little bit loud. But all right, so don't IM us more about that unless there's like something specific.
To reopen the channels of communication for other stuff.
Toronto David, any chance of a restock for the 20th anniversary mugs? Voicemail is off. We can take phone calls. Shaky Gurga, you don't attack Hasan because he's too hot. I mean, Duber, I think the fact that fake billionaire Edward Gregorian's profile talked about social justice is instructive of who Russia typically tries to pay off semi-leftists who are looking for money and justify taking it one way or another. Edward Gregorian, Matt sleeps well because of his My Pillow.
I don't know. We haven't seen any offers like that, so I'd be surprised who's getting that money. I do know like the Vanguard boys have talked about getting
issues, but after that, I don't care about any of this. Honestly, it's a waste of my time. And so,
live from the Poly Market Studio in LA.
I understand. They were sponsored by.
Well,
Poly
you're a
Market,
grifter, apparently. That's the thing. Is look, I've worked at both.
I live
places.
this way. I'm willing to put a bet on a overseas betting market.
Yes.
I'm willing to put a bet that he won't invite me on to discuss this.
I mean,
well, can I just make a quick point?
Yeah.
The whole Venezuela story, which people should watch, Jose.
I left was this different cohort than us.
I'm going to record that sound.
I think that was more like the Chapo and Come Town and this and that. But I don't care about that either. None of that's important. I'm happy to go on that show at any time and debate these issues. But after that, I don't care about any of this. Honestly, it's a waste of my time. And so,
live from the Poly Market Studio in LA.
I understand. I understand. They were sponsored by.
Well, you're
Poly
a
Market, but-
grifter, apparently. That's the thing. Is look, I've worked at both.
switch sides. Like, even when I die, I'ma ride for the squad. Let her ties in the hearse. I've been on a vibe, kinda hard to describe. I'm in between, I'm good and it's fine, but I'm tired of the grind. Then I come alive in the night to realize I'm in the middle of the time of my life. I'm never so packed for the stack, never lied on the rap. Got a bag from the way that I write it. Queen looking Tyson, do that ass survive, doing 80 to the house. Then I hit it to the sky, change haters on a tirade. Talking to the crib in the face, be still, let that hate stuff fade. We all want the same, we all want a meal in the same. spill from my lips, feel bent from the bip. Take a sip till I pass out. Try and get grit, but it don't make sense. Cause you can lose life on this fast route. Yeah, turn thoughts to a cash cow. I might flip that to the glass house. I don't need the accolades, I'm in love with the chase. I just wanna eat, save a spot at the table. Beast with the slap, pin myself on the map. You long with the wind, but we knowing that it's cap. 5-hour flights, couple nights at the flat. To be real, couldn't see me making moves while I'm at. I'm still on the grind, limit time when I chat. I'm burning down sage, keep the demons away. When I write it, give a piece of myself to the page. I don't do it for the praise, love, that's just how I'm made.
Truth in the glass in the mirror.
Yeah.
Do it at me, old man, trying to pass in the fear. You're the first one to talk, but the last one to hear. Eyes blurry, but I couldn't see that, and he cleared down. Start to feel like I'm on one. Settle in, I'll be here for the long run. I'm a slave for the cash, got snakes in the grass, no brakes on the ad, but it's all fun. We done seen it all, heard it all. Heard enough, give me space before I murder y'all. 10 bad here, I'ma curve them all. 12 missed calls, and I still made a curtain call. Here to light it up, lighten up. Hear him talking, they ain't right enough, tighten up. Everything that I came for, I left with. I don't bang sets, I just bang on the set list. Going past supper when I came for the breakfast. Put me in your prayers, I might put you on the guest list. Young, to me reckless, gold in my soul, got the same on my